Okay, I think I'm streaming. It appears as though Chan the Magic Man already in chat. Welcome in, Chan the Magic Man. How's it going? Um, Thanks for being here already. You actually beat me to stream. I was like I was slightly delayed. So I'm not quite even ready yet. Let me at least do this. Okay, cool. Doing well. How about you? Uh, I'm doing mostly pretty well. I'm a little tired, mostly because, well, I'll tell everybody in a minute. Let me get ready here. Let me see. Charlie's Beats, welcome in. How's it going, Charlie? How you doing today? All right, let's see. Okay, I have to put on cheating gloves, so here we go. As per usual, sort quick. That's my cheating gloves. So yeah, I guess a little bit tired. Um, so basically, my my wife's sister, so my sister-in-law, and her husband came back from a trip, and then they still had to stay at our house for a little bit. So we hosted them for the last couple of days, and then they finally are out now. They are moved into their new house. I don't know how comfortable they are because I think their furniture is coming tomorrow, but I guess. Bert, welcome in, Gibson Lens. How's it going? How's everybody doing this weekend? Hopefully everybody's doing well. But the good news is that the cousins got a chance to play with each other. My kid with their kid. So my kid's 4, their kid's like 1.5. So, but anyway, yeah. So a little bit tired. I was like, all right, I'm definitely gonna stream tonight, but I wasn't sure how like into it I was gonna be. So also, I took my kid to the playground today, and I injured myself on the playground. And it wasn't even the kid's fault. It was literally my own fault. So I I don't really know. As Let me just state this: as a grown ass man, I didn't think that injuring myself on a playground would be on my bingo card this year. So that I cannot believe those words have escaped my mouth. There's just that's it. I've injured myself. So if I can't do a full stretch, it's so I kind of had a little scare, and I thought maybe I might have broken a rib. Yes, you're probably wondering what happened and how did this, but in due time. But I'm thinking, okay, maybe I just like hurt, the skin and muscle like in and around the ribs because I'm like, no, there's no way my ribs would be that bad, that fragile, right? So anyway, that's where we're at. That's my concern for today. Um, all right, so this is the first time I'm streaming with my new setup. I actually have a second monitor over here, and you know what I'm going to put on that second monitor? I need to put up stream so I could see. Uh, I just realized I probably should have done this before. Twitch. Go to my thing. Oh, wait. Well, I can hear my audio. That's good. I didn't do the audio check yet. Although you guys were responding to me, so it sounded like it was okay. I just took it on faith that it was working. And then, let's see here. Stream manager. All right, cool. All right, excellent. So there we go. So now this might be disconcerting because this is going to be live for me, but then I see my delayed version over here. I guess I could just block the video or whatever, but yeah, the fact that it's more real estate, I'm like, oh, I don't know how I could ever go back to streaming with one monitor. So, But anyway, of course, with the playground stunt, I can imagine Charlie's Beats doing his thing. Ready? Gibson eyes. Gibson sus eyes. Yep. Yep. Giving me the sus eyes, getting injured on a playground as a grown ass man. Let me also specify the ass is grown ass is the adjective, and that's one word, not the grown, not grown. That's probably what you're thinking. Not the grown ass man. Okay, I'll stop. Maybe. Parsing is very important, just like the Oxford comma. Parsing is very important. Okay, all right, let's pull out the Twitch deck. So here's the Twitch deck. All right. Let's see. I recently updated a spreadsheet tab so that now I have all of the names of the people who have signed a card. Um, oh, and I just realized that could be a useful thing to also pull up. Hang on. Where could I could put this. Oh. Oh, but the spreadsheet is not dark mode, so that would be uncomfortable to look at all the time. All right, cool. But if I needed it, it's there. Okay. I never wanted to like take OBS away, but now I'm like, oh, so much screen real estate. What can I do? All right, so these are the cards that are not signed by anybody. We're what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 away. And it is September, and I have ads turned on because I'm now reminded every stream. But okay, all right. Well, before we get started, I did want to show everybody two things. One, actually, wait. I can put in a magician's choice. I learned a string trick, but that's not the thing I'm going to do yet. I'm going to show this off. Not my keyboard. So earlier, many streams ago, I showed off this metal cup that I picked up. Well, part of the same group on Facebook. It's called the Buy Nothing group, so we try to exchange things or like give away things so that people don't buy anything, prevents things from going to like landfills and things like that. Somebody was giving away another metal cup, and I was like, let me see if I can get it. So I have acquired another metal cup. Here it is. It is another. It's like a pewter cup, so but without a top, basically. But I'm like, oh man. My wife asked me, "Are you getting more free stuff? Why would you get another like pewter mug?" And then I was like, "Well, it's obviously not for drinking because we have enough drinking receptacles in the house, and so obviously it's for magic." So, and if I'm going to be doing real gigs, I figured I should have something else in addition to to do besides cards. And so I now have two metal cups. So now I need is a third metal cup, and I guess I'll have three. I could do the cups and balls with three different metal cups. Okay. Ad break in 3 centimeters. Oh, that would be. Can I Let me see. Hold on, guys. If anybody is here, can I instigate an ad break, or will that add to the 3 minute? Oh, ad break in 3 minutes. Oh no, that would be a minute and a half. Okay. All right. So I have this string. This string you may have remembered when I was just randomly doing Jacob's Ladder on a stream, but I found this book in one of these little libraries. If you have them around your town or city, wherever you live, there are these little libraries. People will put books in them. You're not actually borrowing them. You can just exchange books. You can take them. You can bring them back. Whatever. But So I have this new trick, and you may know its principle if you're familiar with like certain kinds of old locking mechanisms, like before we invented like pin and tumbler locks and stuff like that. Or you might be familiar if you've done like certain puzzles or whatever. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap each finger with a little bit of the string here, and then we're going to tighten that up. And so here's the magic trick. If I wanted to, so the whole thing that was locking the whole thing together is my thumb, but look, watch. All I have to do is just pull on the string. 1, 2, and 3. And nothing happens to my fingers. Now, that in itself you might just think is a math thing. However, I could have somebody select a finger. Let's pretend they choose the ring finger, mostly because it's the one with the ring on it. So let me go ahead and show you what happens if I was to curse my ring finger. Okay. Now watch. Ready? I'm going to do the magic. I've now cursed the ring finger. Not that I should have chosen that finger to curse, because I'm sure my wife would have lots to say about that. But look, watch. First finger is okay. Second finger is okay, but it stops on the ring finger. I can't get it off. Now, if we wanted to curse a different finger, we could. Let's pretend I wanted to leave the tension up until the very end, right? So let's go ahead and wrap each of our fingers once again with the string. But all we would do is curse the pinky. Ready? I'm going to curse the pinky. All we do is quick release on the thumb, and you'll see that, watch. Every finger is free except for the cursed finger. And that, my friends, is, I would guess that's a demonstration of a new trick. I haven't really figured out how to dress it up, but that's, yeah. So here's Jacob's ladder. This might actually be one of the fastest Jacob's ladders. Thank you kindly for the applause, Chan the Magic Man. So I was watching some YouTube videos about people doing fast Jacob's ladders, and I've been doing Jacob's ladder for a long time, and so if I start it now, I've taken like all of the weird shortcuts that people would take if they were like speedrunners, and then like there's Jacob's ladder, right? So it's like, anyway, okay. So there we go. That was, I don't even know what to call that trick. Maybe I'll call it the cursed finger, because that makes the most sense, right? Based on how I just dressed it up. All right, thanks for clearing that, Chan. And let's get ready for the next trick, which is going to be Bluff Ace Assembly. All right, welcome back, Chan. Oh yeah, welcome back from. That's right. I could just. So it's interesting because I did not see the live ad actually occurring. Uh, oh no, there's timer at the top. Okay, all right, I see. Okay, I just have to learn how to read this dashboard better. All right. Okay. Switching back to Magic View screen, let's go ahead and find. You know what? This is called the Bluff Ace Assembly, but because Chan requested it, we are going to use the 4 queens because Chan has signed the Queen of Clubs. There's Chan right there. Hold on, I'm just gonna, and this might be a little bit gross. I have to just check my finger to see if there's some dead skin because it will bother me. All right, are you dead skin or are you hangnail? I don't know. All right. Okay. Aren't you glad I didn't do that on like the screen down here? I was doing it up here. You couldn't see it. All right, a little bit gross. I'm sorry. I'm a human. A human. All right. So, uh, okay. Here we have the four queens. Let me introduce you to them. Is it graphic to show? I mean, no, but I mean, I'm sure some people get gross. Look, there are such things as pimple popping videos. And if you enjoy watching people pop their pimples, you can do that. However, I find that really disgusting. So, you know, to each their own, right? Like, I'm sure some people find like watching other people get haircuts might be gross, but I could at least watch somebody getting a haircut. That's okay. How did we get on this topic? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's my skin. Chance question, is it graphic? All right, we have Queen of Diamonds, the Queen of Spades, the Queen of Hearts, and then of course we have the Queen of Clubs. Now I'm gonna leave Chan, the Queen of Clubs, down here. Lol, says Chan. All right, so but I'm gonna go ahead and place the other three queens down here like this. And first things first, we're gonna need to get a few cards like this, and we're gonna place a few cards on each pile. Okay. All right, now we'll square up each pile. Now, if you guys didn't know, Chan the Magic Man is a magic man. And if you didn't know, his name rhymes with man because it's Chan. And so, therefore, he, Chan the Magic Man, I could, if I really put some time and effort into this, we could make like a Chan the Magic Man haiku magic trick, right? And like every line that I say is part of this poem. But anyway, so that's an idea for you, Chan. If you would like to make the Chan the Magic Man haiku magic trick, great idea. Especially because Chan and Man already rhyme. But anyway, Chan the Magic Man is going to get one of the queens to come from this pile down to the Chan the Magic Man pile. Because now, if we take a look over here, there's no queens because, well, we knew Chan the Magic Man was down here because that's how the queens are getting down there. However, that's not Chan. That's not a queen. That's not a queen. But look, the Queen of Hearts has jumped from this pile down. Now, Chan the Magic Man is going to do some Chan the Magic from this pile down to this pile. See, you can watch him grab it. Actually, wait, he'll snap it, right? And if we take a look, there's actually no queens in this pile because Chan the Magic Man has pulled it from that pile to this pile. Because now, if you take a look, well, there's the Queen of Hearts that we need, but the Queen of Spades has now hopped from there to here. And so finally, we have one more Chan the Magic Man. He's going to end up pulling the final queen from this pile down to this pile. Just like that. Because now if we take a look, we have the Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Spades, the Queen of Hearts, and of course Chan the Magic Man, Queen of Clubs. But you might be thinking, oh, there might have been some sleight of hand. And to that I would say, you're right. Not only am I doing this trick, but Chan the Magic Man is involved. However, if you wanted to see something happen, well, we'll just showcase Chan the Magic Man's powers. Because look, I'm going to go ahead and put Chan the Magic Man here in this pile. And we have the other queens over here. And all we have to do is allow Chan the Magic Man to just grace his presence on 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you could see, but look, we have the Queen of Diamonds, the Queen of Spades, Queen of Hearts, and of course our Chan the Magic Man, Queen of Clubs. And if we take a look, there's actually no queens over here. And that, my friends, is Chan the Magic Man Assembly. So doing that whole trick totally reminded me of being in like a coffee house or like just some place where poetry readings were read. I know I said that at the beginning, but I was like, as I said, Chan the Magic Man, like it rolls off the tongue. It's so poetic, right? Thank you kindly for the claps, Chan. Thanks for clearing that as well. I almost feel like thank you kindly for the claps. Hopefully you enjoyed that, Chan. Very cool. Awesome. Yes, if anybody wants to request, the trick list is empty, so now would be a good time. In the meantime, let's go ahead and, guys, you're not following our friend and mod, Chan the Magic Man. You know, I almost think that when I say that now, there should just be like sparkles on the screen. Chan the Magic Man. And yeah, if you're not following Chan the Magic Man, please give Chan a follow. And Chan the Magic Man, give him a follow, and you can catch him doing magic on Mondays for Magic Monday. And if all else fails, you can catch him other days being Chan the Magic Man, a music superstar, and also, well, actually, hold on, let me. Magic. Okay, here we go. Superstar, Chan the Superstar, right there. See. I have proof, physical proof. And you might catch him playing games, Grand Theft Auto, retro games, community games. So definitely give Chan a follow. All right, guys, we're now following our friend Charlie's Beats. Please give Charlie's Beats a follow. Charlie's Beats is music, Twitch, famous chatter. Also has streamed before. May also stream one day again. He might have even streamed and I might have missed it. That's certainly possible. Which, if you did, I'm sorry I missed it. Let's see here. Guys, you're not following our friend and mod, Gibson Lens. Please give Gibson Lens a follow. Gibson Lens, pianist, composer, released his own album some months ago. I want to say some, but it's actually been like almost like 3 months. It's like 6 months ago, so it's actually like half a year. So it's been a while now. But yeah, you can actually listen to the entire album for free at the Linktree at all the services, basically. Wait, say my name again. Oh, Chan the Magic Man. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I mean, Chan the Magic Man. Beautiful, beautiful. We got the stars. All right, Chan the Magic Man. Ooh, there we go. That's glorious. There you go. That's, you know what? If you're not following Chan the Magic Man, you're gonna miss out on all the stars. Okay. All right. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Sweet. Let's go ahead and get ready for the next trick here. Let me see. How do I do this? Very carefully. All right. So here we have birds of a feather. I'm actually just going to use the queens again because they were already here. But so what we're going to do, well, actually, let me introduce you to all of the queens. So here we have the Queen of Clubs, Chan the Magic Man, the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Spades, and the Queen of Diamonds. Now, if you are here, I would ask you to cut about 3/4 of this deck over here. Now, you could be off by a card or two, that would be fine. Then I would ask you to cut off about 2/3 of this over here. And of course, we could do that. You could be off by a few cards here or there. And then you could cut about half of this down to a separate pile down here. Now, what I want to do at each one of these is I want to mark each one of these um, with a separate card. And so here's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and mark this with a queen, and then we're going to mark this one with a queen, and then we'll mark this one with a queen, and then we're going to go ahead and mark this last one with a queen. And of course now, Chan the Magic Man with the Queen of Clubs, Mark Rides, welcome in. How are you doing, Mark Rides? Thank you kindly for the transporter. You know what? That was a perfectly timed transporter because the transporter will transport 1, transport 2, transport 3. All of the queens have transported down here to this transporter pad. This is the transporter pad that happens to be in the USS Enterprise D. Because here we have our Queen of Spades, Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Clubs, Chan the Magic Man, and Queen of Hearts. Mark Ride says, I have to drive and lurk. All right, Mark Rides, drive safely. Greatly appreciate the lurk. And hopefully you get to where you need to go. So, and on time. Not just that you get there. And in one piece. So, ad break incoming. All right, but of course, Charlie's Beats did request this trick. So perhaps I should have done this with the aces. Well, no, that's okay, because you know what? Presumably, if Charlie was here and doing all of the cuts, Charlie was able to cut precisely to each and every ace, because here we have the ace of clubs. Here we have Charlie's Beats ace of spades. Here we have the ace of diamonds, and here we have the ace of hearts. And that, my friends, is birds of a feather. And we did use Charlie's Beats in the trick that Charlie requested. Thanks for clearing that, Chan. And thank you kindly for the claps, Charlie's Beats. And Chan, thank you kindly for the clapping duckies. So, let's see. I made a big move the other day. Well, it's not big yet, but I'm in the process of making a big move for my magic gigging career. Which, so besides the business cards, which I announced last week, um, not only do I have business cards for doing magic gigs, but I signed up for a gig salad account, which, if anybody doesn't know, it's I guess, a big popular website for people who do performances, live entertainment, or something else of the such that is like a gig. And so, yeah, I am in the process of getting my gig page approved. So I literally just signed up like a couple days ago, and then I haven't heard back yet. So we shall see. But maybe there will be more gigs in my future. So who knows? Of course, I can't physically come to a gig if it's not nearby, but I'm opening it up to gigs virtually. And I know that you guys here know that I can do a virtual gig. So if you guys end up hearing anybody needing like a virtual magic show, you let them know that I exist. All right. Sorry for the shameless plug, but I mean, it's also like a super interesting and exciting new development, right? That I'm now like putting myself out there. I mean, not yet. Once the gig salad site profile gets approved, then I will have successfully put myself out there. In which case, yeah, right. So I feel like, though, close up magic, it's not the same. Like I do this here on stream, and like I know that. Well, actually, maybe not all of you guys know that I could do this in real life. Like I know that Gibson Lens knows that I can do this in real life because he saw me do it in real life like 50 times. But um, and I'm sure Chan believes me that when I say I can do this, I can. But yeah, somebody was like, do you use camera tricks or do you edit? And I'm like, so full disclosure, it would be. Oh, see, you know what? The ads kicked in. I could see that. I could see it. All right. um, but yeah, so for example, opening something up, opening a video up that I've recorded, and then going through the editing process. Like I have to go through that video multiple times just to make sure everything would look right. Blah blah blah. If I'm doing a magic trick, it's just so much effort to then be like everything has to be seamless because if it looks like a cut, it's gonna be suspicious anyway. And I'm just like, and then it would take away from the whole like becoming a better performer, right? And so it's like it is both easier and more productive for me to literally just record the trick again and just see if that take would be better. And so that's my process. If I record a video for YouTube and I'm like, oh, I didn't like that thing, I just record it again completely because then I just do the entire trick again. So I get the full practice of the trick. I get the full practice of like knowing what I messed up on the previous videos or whatever. Um, I have a magician chat with some friends of mine, and this is the perfect thing to talk about during the ad break because those of you who are still here, or probably the only people who care. But um, so I was having a magician's chat, and one of them asked for help because I posted one of my tricks that I created. I did a short version of my Fantastic Four trick, and it's set to music. And so everyone was like, "Oh man, that's a really clever way to do that," or I know exactly which powers, and I'm like, "Yes, that's exactly what I wanted." And instead of doing my usual like version where I tell the story, which is like anywhere from 4 to 7 minutes, the quick version was only 2 minutes, and it's all visual, so you didn't have to hear me talk. But I was super encouraged. But somebody in that chat was like, "Hey, how do you start figuring out how to make your own tricks?" And I kind of feel bad because basically he and I, because it's a group chat, basically he and I like grabbed the entire chat and like the next like 30 threads were just basically me and him talking back and forth. Um, but like, one of the first things I was like saying is, oh, well, where I start with my creative process is I find either a trick that I love and then how can I retheme it, or I come up with a theme. For example, like when I was doing my K-pop Demon Hunter stuff, and then it's like, all right, based on all of the toolbox sleights and tricks and things that I know how to do, what can I put into this trick to then make it like a story to tell people and to show people that might be interesting or different. And at this point, like, even though I'm starting to try and find gigs, like, I'm still creating new tricks for the love of the art, right? For the love of expressing myself, and oftentimes for the love of expressing nerdy, geeky things, right? And so here I am, I'm starting down with this path, and then he's like, oh, and at some point I learned that he doesn't know that many tricks. And I'm like, oh, well, in order for you to have a toolbox of many different things to draw from, you then need to learn more tricks. And so I was like, okay, well, you should start learning more tricks because then you'll have a better toolbox. He told me he only knew like two tricks, and honestly, they weren't even routines. He couldn't tell a story with them. Even like if one of the tricks had a standard story to it, then like he couldn't tell that story. So I was like, ooh. And so I had to break the news down to him that it's like, all right, well, there's no getting around it. If you want to create your own tricks, you probably, I didn't tell him that he had to do this, but I suggested that to have a better repertoire of tricks to then draw inspiration and tools from, he would just have to learn more tricks. And so that was kind of where we left it. But during that conversation, like he said, oh, he was afraid of failure. And I'm like, as a magician, you're going to fail a lot. Like hold on, let me see if I can pull up the screenshot. Oh yeah, the whole reason why I'm bringing this up is that I get an unusually large amount of practice because of like stream, because of my YouTube channel, and right now, I'm just gonna show you a screenshot if I can find it of just how much time and effort that I put into uh, um, practicing. So every single time I do a YouTube video, if I fail, if I mess up the trick, if I wasn't happy with it for literally any reason, I basically just film it again, right? As of earlier this year in March, this is when this folder got created because I think I started using like a different computer or whatever. And so as of earlier this year in March, I have a screenshot that shows, let me see here. Is this going to rotate? Okay. Would this be easier on this cam down here? Okay. So this is just a screenshot of a folder on my computer, and this is how many videos I recently. But here's the thing. I'm gonna zoom in on the bottom left, or no, can I zoom in? All right. Well, just trust me if you can't read it, but it says basically 597 items, one of which is a folder, so 596 since March. That's how many videos I've discarded. And that's just from my YouTube stuff. So that's not including how many times I've done tricks on stream, which I guess we can count because I keep pretty good track on the trick list. But like, so the number of times I've practiced tricks, that's 596 since March, plus all of the tricks that I've done on stream, plus anything that I've done outside of these digital formats. So basically outside of stream and outside of Twitch, outside of YouTube, which I also do. But I just wanted to show him that I fail a lot, right? Like, fail being a very loose term. Like, there have been videos that I've discarded because I basically did the trick perfectly, but I stumbled on words like at 2 points during the video. I'm like, I don't want to stumble on my words there. It's like, and so I just I just redid the video, especially as a short trick, like, right? And so, like this is the level of dedication I just wanted to show, and the level of failure, for just lack of a better term, that I go through now just as part of my regular process. So it's not like I am so amazing that I can do a trick and it's like, oh, I get it right the first time. No, that's totally not how it works. And anybody who does magic also agrees. If I do a trick and I do it well, it's because it looks polished and it looks like, man, he did a really good job. It's not because I'm naturally good. It's because I failed like 30 times doing that trick literally the week before or something like that. So yeah, that's literally it. There are some tricks that I'll do pretty easily, but it's because I've refined that trick from years ago and it's just like a basic trick that I know and I just rethemed it, right? So I'll tend to fail those ones less. So maybe I'll have like 3 or 4 takes versus like, 20, 30, right? But anyway, so yeah, this is no delusion. Like if you want to become good at, I assume many performance arts, right? In magic, or if you play a musical instrument, right? Like it probably doesn't matter. You put in the time and the practice, the blood, sweat, and tears. That's how you get good. And even if you had a slight natural talent, I assure you, you will be better than you were without the practice, even if you're already naturally good with the practice. So that's all I'm saying. That's anyway. So that was a big thing. Like we had this discussion. I was like making dinner for my kid, for my family, and then it was like I was taking a shower, and like in between all of these things across like a day and a half, we were just having like this long thread conversation about, how to create your own magic tricks, where to go next. Here's a bunch of free resources, which, if anybody wants to get into magic, there's a lot of free resources. If you don't know where to start, but you're thinking about paying for something, don't pay for anything yet. Just come talk to me. I'll point you in the direction of a bunch of free stuff. And then once you're in it for like, let's say at least a few months and like really into it, then you can start paying money for the good magic, right? So anyway, sorry, that was a very long discussion for, uh, I guess, just talking about. But the conversation stuck with me, like, because he is trying to become a better magician. He's actually trying to get gigs, and I don't know if you have enough like trick diversity to entertain for an hour with just two tricks. I know I've been able to entertain an hour with 3 tricks, but it's just doing those 3 tricks over and over again with different small groups of people. But I was also just kind of strategizing from a. So some people are asking, what's your magic set gonna be? And I'm like, well, I haven't figured that out yet. But if I just have a deck of cards, I can entertain for hours because, I mean, you guys have seen on stream, I just entertain for hours with cards. Um, and I was looking at the trick list, and the trick list I think is a really good thing to look at here because I have a category called impromptu. So I'm gonna let you guys in on a little bit on the back office a little bit for a second. So if you see card trick or not magic, so not magic, I think the only thing that's under there is a Rubik's cube. Okay, card trick, basically everything is the card trick, which is almost everything I think, just like the coin matrices are not. And then I have 2 other tags on the trick list: impromptu and prepared. So if I click impromptu, that is oh wow, that's a clean 50 tricks. So there are 50 tricks that I can do just with a deck of cards. And impromptu means that you can basically perform the trick with any deck of cards. I guess there's some minimum stipulations, but it could be a borrowed deck of cards as well for impromptu tricks. And so I could conceivably do pretty much any of these 50 tricks for the most part. Now, prepared tricks, that's a little bit different because you do need to have something prepared. So, for example, the 4 card trick, I could do the 4 card trick impromptu, but you guys have seen me do it here, and the way I love to do it is with blank cards, right? And so that's why I say it's basically a prepared card trick because I love doing it with the blank cards. But I could do it with like just like jokers and stuff, and it's not as impressive, I think. And then I also have like the coin matrix in prepared because it's not a deck of cards. So I'm just like, all right. But technically, if I just had coins, that'd be fine. But then there's some other cards like the Trading Kings trick, blank cards. I could do it probably with 2 decks of cards. Oh wait, no, yeah. Trading Kings is no, not Trading Kings. I'm thinking of the other one. Traveling Man. Traveling Man is a trick that I think I have under here because you need 2 decks of cards with different colors. But I would not consider that impromptu because in the situation of a borrowed deck, you'd have to have another deck that is borrowed. That is basically the same kind of deck but with a different back. So yeah. So that's not bad. 50 tricks that I can draw from at any given point. And honestly, I can go through 20 tricks in 2 hours because that's about my average. Or not even like just talking like this and entertaining if I'm just telling jokes or telling people about my life. A lot of times people ask me other things like, let's just get past the whole, oh, how long have you been doing magic? How'd you get into magic? That kind of stuff. Like, and then you get past that, then it's like, oh, well, what do you do for work? And now I can tell them I'm officially unemployed. And if I'm actually at a gig, I'd be like, I'm a professional magician, technically. But not yet. When I'm at that gig, I'm just, I'm projecting. I'm projecting success. But then, you know, I can get into like, what did you do before this? Well, I like to, pick locks and Rubik's cubes and stuff like that. And then people just naturally ask, oh, what do you like to do? Board games, card games. We talk about things for hours, right? So I just realized that I wanted to do the coin matrix, and the coins are not because I just cleaned everything up for the monitors, and they're within reach, but they're not like immediately accessible. So let me go ahead and let me put the coin matrix in, And we'll put the second. Oh, come on, bot. Does anyone know if there's a way I can remove the rate limiting on my own bot, at least for me? So all my coins are over here. Well, not all my coins, but all my coins for Coin Magic are basically over here. I do have some fun things I could do. Actually, maybe we should improvise something after I do this. After I practice this coin matrix. Okay, so here we go. 4 cards, 4 coins, and we're going to place a coin into the corners of a small rectangle, and we're going to go ahead and cover each coin with a card, and then we will go ahead and teleport coins from corner to corner. Hey! E-Room. Welcome in. How's it going? Thanks for the bang. And with that, you know what is going to scare each and every one of these coins into the corner? It's because they heard E-Room's bang. See, watch. Ready? Bang! Hi, Nam. Hi, E-Room. Welcome in. Look, this coin's going to hear the bang. Bang! And then this one is going to hear the bang. Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab it. And then bang! It heard E-Room's bang. Because look. But that was like a room with cover. So like, you know, with cards. Let's go ahead and nice one. Let's go ahead and show you how the coins would move hearing E-Room's bang, but without cards. Ready? Watch. Bang! I don't know if you could tell, but look. All right. Here we go. Ready? And bang! I don't know if you could tell, but look. And then here we go. Bang! You know, I just realized this is like the first time I've like dressed this up like really any differently. So E-Room, thanks for the bang. And so here we've got 3 and 1. Ready? And bang. Now, with that, we are going to want everybody to get back into their normal positions, you know, to start the trick again, right? But here's what's going to happen. They're actually going to hear E-Room's bang. There we go. And that, my friends, is a series of coin matrices. Coin matrices. Okay, hopefully I distracted long enough and E-Room's bang distracted that everything was okay. Thank you kindly for the claps, E-Room. All right, let's see here. I think I have a boss trick, which is one of these. I would say I did not do it as perfectly as I would have liked. So if it was on the boss trick list, we'll leave it on the boss trick list. Oh yeah, so tonight is Magic Stream 158. So if anybody was curious, tonight's Magic Stream is 158. Oh, so earlier this week, I streamed a bunch. I streamed basically 3 U-Beat streams and a cooking stream. And on the cooking stream, I cooked a new dish to me. It was cheeseburger ramen. So that's what I made, cheeseburger ramen. It was delicious. I enjoyed it. Okay, let me see if this will work here. Okay, I'm gonna put a magician's choice in there just so I can. All right. So let me see how this will work. All right, I'm just gonna. All right, so look, I have a coin here. All right, and with this coin, I just want to do something interesting with it. If I just go ahead and I close my hand over it, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm changing its size. The size is no longer its regular size. The size is now this big. And yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but okay, all right. I don't know if that worked. And to be fair, that's not very polished, so I would have to change it up a little bit. I think I'm going to lose weight for the next 10 months. Is that good or bad, Mark Rides? Ricky Charms, welcome in. How's it going? Thanks for the applause. Um, so, in my mind, Mark Rides, I'm thinking all sorts of things. You could be maybe going on a diet, eating out less. You could be not buying as much food. Maybe you're having food insecurity, of which I I feel you. Not like it, maybe that's the wrong word. I have sympathy for you. And are you having food insecurity? Because if you are, I'd be willing to send you some food. um, there could be something more depressing, and maybe I shouldn't mention this because there is some personal news about a friend of mine, which I don't think has made it out to all of my circles of friends or all the people that know. But I found out that one of my friends has been diagnosed with colon cancer, and it has spread outside of the colon, and so there is some planned medical procedures coming up, and this was the first I'd heard of it, but I think they were trying to keep it secret because most of us, I don't think, have heard of it yet. But I was also thinking about them, thinking, oh, they might also be losing weight if they have to go through like chemotherapy or radiation. Mark Ride says, it's good. I'm currently 5 feet 2 and 200 pounds. Qualified for my COVID shot because I'm overweight. Oh, but put my weight back on just before September so I can qualify for my next. Oh, I see. Okay, interesting. Um, yeah, I think that is a little bit bizarre in that I don't understand why they don't allow just anybody who wants to get the COVID shot to just get the COVID shot. I live in a state where I think if I just want it, I can just get it. I mean, I have to pay for it, but like I know that there's some other states or the state laws, or I don't know if it's availability, but yeah, related to the COVID shot, and I'm just like, but wait, why? It's just like, okay, but all right, Mark Rides. Thank you for letting me know and filling me in. That puts a little bit more context too. But yeah, that you bring up a very, I guess, serious problem about the United States isn't really one united nation. It's literally 50 little nations in one nation. And so the laws are different. Oh yeah, it's federal because of the CDC head. Oh, okay. Oh, it's federal. All right. Well, it shows how much that I have not been paying attention to the news. To be fair, I think that paying attention to all of the news all the time will give people headaches and depression and emotions. Um, and so I've actually made a deliberate choice not to be informed about everything all the time, which maybe sounds selfish in a way, but you've got to do it for your mental health. And I know there are a lot of people who are just stressed out about like news in the world and stuff. But like if you think about 100 years ago, news just traveled slower. Like if something happened and it didn't immediately affect you, you might not find out for like a decade. Like right. Mark Wright says, I won't get political, but just tell him that you have high blood pressure and are overweight. Yeah, my poor pharmacist wanted, but she doesn't qualify. Oh, I'm sorry to your pharmacist. And it sucks that like, if you want it, you have to gain weight to reach that threshold. Like if I was to gain that much weight, I mean, I would probably not feel good about myself. My wife would probably leave me. I mean, it's not like I'm that far away. I think it's conceivable for me to gain effectively 25 to 30 pounds, I think. I could probably do it, but just lie about your weight. Oh, I mean, unless they attempt to do the verification on my weight. I am tall enough. I'm tall for an Asian guy, so. All right. So anyway, that was a random trick with a big coin. Music is mad. Oh yes, the mad emote. Such is the world we live in. This is, I also don't want to get political, but like, you know, when you're a kid, you can ignore politics because you don't realize, what is affecting you, what's important, or like the other thing is like you don't know what things were like before because you're a kid, right? And now like when we're adults, like we have more expectations, we have more understanding, we have context of how things were like before. We can compare and contrast. We can also form our own opinions and things like that. And so it's quite easier to get upset as an adult with politics. It doesn't matter your political party or anything. All the things will upset you. All right. If anybody's been sitting around for a while and you're not hydrated, please feel free to hydrate. I'm having diluted black tea because that's where we're at. All right. The queue is empty. If anybody would like to request any tricks, feel free. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on blabbering about whatevs. But you know what? There's a lot of whatevs to talk about. Um, on the other side of my other stuff, so there's the one side of me who's trying to get magic gigs. So we'll call that the professional side of magic. And then there's the other side of me still doing the Twitch and YouTube stuff. Now, I do want to say that I will continue doing Magic Twitch streams because I love it and like I love hanging out with you guys and it's a great practice whether I end up getting real gigs or not. But I just want to make it clear that I always intend my Twitch streams to be informal and like in no way. I always want this to be like an informal, casual thing. So I just want to make that clear. This is my personal space where I show magic to you guys, right? So I don't want to ever feel pressured that this will ever become a professional thing. If there will be, I will set aside a separate stream for that on a separate day. That will not be Sleight of Hand Sunday. Sleight of Hand Sunday is going to just remain informal. This is like me in a pajama shirt. I am doing magic. I will go to sleep in this shirt tonight. Like that's. However, on my YouTube channel, I've started, and I think I alluded to this last couple of streams. I've begun creating more and more tutorials where I reveal the secrets of magic, and so, but they're not public. Um, they're only available to channel members on YouTube. So, Mark Ride says they didn't check with me, but I gave them from the scale in the morning the last time my cholesterol checked and it was so high. I told them that I had high cholesterol and high blood pressure. You know what? I have a history of high cholesterol in my family, i.e., like my grandparents and parents and things. So that would not be too hard a sell in my family. Also, if they do check blood pressure, here's the trick Work out before going to the pharmacist with cardio. Get the heart rate and blood pressure readings to increase. Way to hack the system. But I mean, that's not any different than like weight check-ins for like wrestling and boxing matches, right? Similar thing. It's like get your weight down, and then as soon as you're done with the check-in, then you go back to normal so that you're, the one thing that I think would make wrestling and boxing more fair is literally to have the weight check-in like uh like probably right before the match. I mean, like it doesn't have to be like a few minutes. It could be like an hour before the match or something. That would be super fair. Um, I suppose that if they had it like earlier, then you have time to adjust to get to that weight. But then it's like at this point you could just have multiple check-ins, right? So it's like we need you to have multiple check-ins. Check in 3 times, 2 weeks before, 1 week before, and then right before, and then it's like that would solve like that issue. But yeah, this is how we as the consumers can use that system. Let's see here. Where was I? Oh yeah, yeah. So I'm starting to reveal the secrets of magic on my YouTube channel, but for most of the videos, I am having them be channel members only, so people who support me on YouTube. Uh, Except I've been making one of those videos public each every couple weeks. So right now I do have one public. It's on the Elms account. So if you're interested in the Elms account, go to my channel and search for Elms account tutorial. That's the only one. But right now, and that's going to be on for the next like week and a half or whatever. But if you're curious, it's like a very long video, and unless you're planning on doing card magic, it probably doesn't. It won't really necessarily be interesting to you unless you're going to do it. So. Were you saying gig salad earlier? I was saying gig salad earlier. Yes, I have signed up for gig salad. I have not gotten my profile approved yet. Actually, let me double check because it's waiting on almost there. Your profile is pending approval. So not quite there. Actually, can I hold on, I'm gonna try and share this. I was driving. What's the website? Oh, the website is gigsalad.com. So that's a site where if you want to put gigs or if you're trying to search for gigs for whatever reason, um, you can find talented people for doing talented things. Let's see here. Easiest way to book talent: musical acts, entertainers, speakers, event services like bartenders, photographers, wedding services, photo booth type things, birthday parties, corporate events, holiday parties, private events. Yeah. Is it free? Does it cost money? So I think you just have to sign up for an account, and then I don't know if you search for people or if you type in, you search for your need, and then people will contact you. Using it as a consumer is basically free. Using it as an event person, it is free. You just have like the minimum number of features, so you can just start free, and then if you want to kick up to a tier later, there's apparently a bunch of different. Yeah, I can drop the website if anybody. So yeah, right now I haven't paid Gig Salad anything, but if they end up successfully booking someone for me, then they take like a small percentage off of the as a commission. So I can adjust my pricing, but also the pricing has to be like agreed upon. So once they say, "Oh, hey, you'd be good for this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I could do it for this much," I give them a quote. So I give the potential client a quote, and then whatever it is. So for example, if I was to, and this is probably way too low for like uh, a magician, $100 for an hour. I suppose for somebody who's starting out, that could be reasonable, but I also have to make it worthwhile for me too. So I'd probably charge a little bit more, but just for ease of calculation, then like I believe I would get $95 and they would take $5. Um, so That's my general understanding of how this would work. So I could build it into my price, basically. But there's a bunch of other benefits if you like have a paid like thing for Gig Salad. I don't think I'm ready for those yet. Let me get a few gigs and see how frequently they occur or how much I can get from them. But yeah. In the meantime, I'm still on unemployment. I'm still applying to jobs. I've applied to over 70 jobs since unemployment has occurred. So doing good on that front, I guess. Good being I'm applying. Currently, the success rate of like calls and stuff. I've had a few recruiter calls, but they're mostly unrelated to my applications. Except for okay, so hold on, I have to tell you guys this story. So this is super weird. So there was a company that I applied to. It was literally within days or the first 2 weeks of my unemployment, and then it goes for a while. About a month later, I hear from a recruiter, and the recruiter is like, "Hey, do you want to talk about this potential opportunity for this company?" And I'm like, okay. They didn't specify which company. We get on a call, we start talking, and then he tells me the name of the company, and I'm like, "Hey, wait, I think I've applied to this company." And then I go check my spreadsheet, of course, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I applied on this day." And they were like, "Oh." And the weirdest thing is, so I'm not sure if then this recruiter would get um, like credit for me to if I ended up getting hired or whatever. So he says, "Let me call you back," and then he calls me back later and says, "Yeah, he can represent me." And I'm like, "Okay." Literally radio silence for another entire month. I hear from another recruiter and similar kind of thing, and I'm talking to a bunch of different recruiters, so I'm like, okay. And opens up the same way, doesn't tell me what company, and then we're chatting for a little bit, send my resume, and then this recruiter happens to see that, oh, I am that I had already applied and I'm being represented by this other recruiter. And I'm like, really, guys? Like, two of your recruiters reached out to me. Does this not show that I would be a really good match for this company? And then I told this recruiter, hey, please, could you like upvote or like click something or just let people know? Like, I haven't heard anything from this other recruiter for a month. And then she comes back to me and says, I just found out that this position has been frozen, i.e., they are putting on hold the hiring for the position. And I'm like, well, that's good to know. Or like, so it's oh man, it is just ridiculous. Uh, anyway, super fun stories in the tech application world right now. I cannot get over how ridiculous the process is sometimes. Good news is I'm not putting all of my eggs in one basket. I am entertaining a potential career change idea. It's not too far away from what I did before, software, but it would be drastically different in that it would still be in tech, but I'd be doing something a little bit different. I don't want to share it quite yet, but we'll see. Tangentially related. Actually, I'll tell you this: it might be closer to the scam baiting community than not. Okay. All right. You know what? I usually do this trick a different way, but let's go ahead and do it different. So this trick is called too many cards. And normally, I was just thinking about this literally as Charlie requested this, and I'm like, how come? So this trick, you normally start with the ace and then go up to the five. But what if I started up with the five, go down to the ace? Okay, so here we go. We have the five, the four, the three, the two, and the ace of diamonds. And here's the part that makes sense to me. All right, so first I have the 5 of diamonds, right? If I go ahead and I place it into the middle of the packet, it's not on the top, it's not on the bottom. But if I just go ahead and I snap, that will bring the 5 back up to the top. I know, super weird. But look, we can go ahead and do it again. If I take the 5, place it into the middle of the packet, if I snap, that will bring the 5 back up to the top. So right now there's 5 cards in the packet, and the number is 5. So what if I was to then remove the 5 from the packet, and now there's 4 cards in the packet, and the next number that we're going to do is 4. Why haven't I ever thought of this? Why hasn't anybody ever thought of this before? Everybody just goes 1 to 5. But you know what? Today, we're going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and place the 4 here into the middle of the packet. Once again, it's not on the top. It's not on the bottom. But if I snap, there we go. It's also just occurred to me that I may have messed up this trick already. But let's see if I can recover. I'm going to go ahead and place the 4 into the middle. But look, if I just go ahead and there's the 4. Okay. So here we have the ace, 2, and the 3. And what I want to do with the ace, 2, and the 3 is that I'm going to go ahead and place the 3 in between the ace and the 2. But now if I just go ahead and I shake, instead of snapping, that will actually change and turn the 3 face down. But now if I turn the ace and the 2 face down, I place the 3 in between and I give it a shake. That will turn the 3 back face up. So now we have 2 cards like this. And what if I was to now take the 2 and place it underneath the ace like this? Well, all I have to do is snap, and that will bring the 2 back to the top. And there's the ace. Hi everyone, sorry I'm late. Felden Kane, no worries. Welcome in. Hopefully you're doing well. I mean, here's the thing. If you show up during the stream, that's effectively on time. You would be late if you came after the stream was done, right? That that would be late. This is perfectly on time. Welcome in, Felden Kane. Where was I? Oh, yes. So what if I was to go ahead and now, you know what? Let me go ahead and I place the ace. Hold on. You're probably, let me go ahead and remove, I'm going to remove the 2. And I'm going to remove the 2, and here we're just going to be left with the ace. Okay. But actually, this is the ace of diamonds, and deep down inside, I really should have used the ace of spades, because the ace of spades is the one that Charlie's Beats has signed. And I usually like to use the card that Charlie's Beats has signed when he requests a trick. So, you know what? We can make it happen. Here's the ace of spades, signed by Charlie's Beats. And that, my friends, is too many cards changing the direction of the cards instead of going to ace to 5, 5 to ace. And it makes more sense for the reveal now for the ace for Charlie's Beats. So there we go. Thanks for that request, Charlie. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Yes, thanks for shouting out our friend Felden Kane. Thanks for coming in, Felden Kane. Thank you kindly for the claps. Charlie's Beats, Gibson Lens, Felden Kane, E-Room. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, did we get a shout out for E-Room? Guys, you're not following our friend E-Room. Please give E-Room a follow. E-Room, known as the Pope of Indiana, has a variety stream where he basically will stream things maybe in real life, community games like puzzles or words on stream, or opening things like Kinder eggs to collect things. So thank you for giving that shout out, Gibson Lens. And yeah, and guys, if you're not following our friend Felden Kane, relatively new at streaming, but I caught him streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake, and if I noticed, you were actually streaming something else last time, Felden Kane. I forgot what you were streaming last time, but I saw you streaming a different game, and I was like, oh, that's not Final Fantasy. And let's see here. Did we miss anybody else? I think I got everybody else before that, but I just wanted to double check. So let us know if you feel like we missed you. Felden Kane says, I am all over the place. All right. Sounds good. Welcome to the club of being all over the place. I mean, actually, if this stream was not evident of me being all over the place, here we go. All right. So, guys, the trick list is empty. Well, I'm going to clear it in a second. If anybody would like to request anything, now's a good time. We're doing Minecraft community event and Final Fantasy. Ah, awesome. I haven't played Minecraft. I've seen it played. I kind of understand the premise, but I've never played Minecraft a day in my life. So, seems cool. Seems interesting. It's just when it came out, I don't think I had time to delve into it, and then it became huge, and then I was like, I don't have to play Minecraft. It's okay. It's one of those like, there. You're an adult now. You could be adulting. It's not bad. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I would probably enjoy Minecraft. The whole reason why I actually don't start playing some games now is that I would get too addicted, or I would play it too much, and I know it would be bad for me. So, for example, I like Magic the Gathering. However, if I started playing Magic the Gathering Arena, I know I would play lots of it, and I would probably lose a lot of time. And I just realized I should probably not use that time playing Magic the Gathering. No offense to people who do that, but I I know I shouldn't. Felding Kane says, if it wasn't for my teenage cousin, I would have skipped it too. But it's enjoyable once in a while. Oh yeah, absolutely. Gibson Lens says, oops. Nah, Gibson Lens, you play Magic the Gathering Arena, I can live vicariously through you, and that's perfect for me. That's fine. I am, like it's hard to create content unless I create content for Magic the Gathering Arena. But one of the things that I wanted to do with my hobbies is have like if you haven't noticed all the things that I named in the past hobbies like Rubik's cubes, lock picking, magic, they're all like tactile hobbies. So like playing a video game doesn't fill the tactile need. Like I already play video games, so it's like I would need another hobby that's tactile to fill that requirement of my life. Um, Yeah, surprisingly I haven't played as many board games as I would like to with my friends, and not like video games because just I'm basically being a dad. So yeah, so that's that. Okay, let's see here. What would I like to do? It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, and if it's not me, I would be illegal. Let's see here. Let me. You know what? I want to do a trick. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, there was a reason why I didn't play, for example, Marvel Snap. I heard that Marvel Snap was amazing. All my friends, my board game and my video game friends, loved Marvel Snap, and I'm like, oh, I would love Marvel Snap. And then I decided I shouldn't play Marvel Snap because some guys are like, oh yeah, I'm just playing like a few games a day, and that's like a half an hour to an hour. But then it's like, half an hour to an hour times 365 days a year. It's like, oh, okay. Okay. All right. Let's do this one. Okay. I have one, two, three, four, five, six cards, and these six cards are all red to show that they all have tested positive for a disease that they've captured in outer space. Let's just say. A disease in outer space. And so, in order to slowly isolate, they need people to go into labs to test. And so, they're like, hey, um, the Queen of Hearts and King of Hearts, because they are like civilians, let's just have you guys go into these two separate labs. Okay, so here, go into this lab, and then here, go into this lab. And we're going to try and test you guys out. And so now we have one, two, three, four different workers, and they are going to try and figure out if there's some sort of antidote or antibody that they could then give to these people. Kit Kat Gad says TB cases in Maine. First of all, welcome in, Kit Kat Gad. How's it going? But that's crazy. Um, so they're now checking for this thing, but then when they try to approach the first individual, which I believe this was the Queen of Hearts, they actually discovered that the Queen of Hearts was not in the lab that she was supposed to be in. She was over here because look, here's the Queen of Hearts. And who did they find over here? Well, this was actually one of the scientists trying to figure out, hey, what the heck is going on here? Okay. And so once again, the scientists are all left to wonder, hey, let's go and investigate the King of Hearts status of whether anything was going on in the lab. But actually, as it turns out, the King of Hearts wasn't there either, because look, the King of Hearts was actually over here. And this was another one of the lab members. Now, at the end of this, basically, we determined that all of the lab scientists were actually infected. But what they realized later with further testing with the Queen of Hearts and the King of Hearts, as it turns out, they must have built up some kind of immunity because if we take a look at the King of Hearts, they are no longer infected. And if we take a look at the Queen of Hearts, she is no longer infected either. And that, my friends, is we could pretend that it is TB cases in Maine if you want to take it out of outer space. And TB TB can't be cured on its own, right? Is that a thing? I don't know. I don't know enough about TB. I know that we had vaccines for it, and I think it basically almost eliminated it. But now there's TB cases in Maine, so there we go. Thank you, Kylie, for the claps. Felden Kane, Kit Kat Gad. Last we spoke, you had a job interview. Um, I'm sure it is too early to officially hear back from them, but how did it go from your perspective? Hopefully, it went well. Kit Kat Kat says it's the most deadly infectious disease. Yay! Yeah, and Maine is a little bit far away from me, but it's not that far away that it couldn't conceivably spread to where I'm at. Kit Kat Kat says I'm too honest in interviews. Oh, okay. I could kind of see that, but I would. So from a personal perspective, I would much rather be honest, and if they didn't want me, then that's fine. That's on them. They're missing out on the nom experience, if that's what. Yeah, ads. Okay. I will pick back up. No when back. Oh wait, I should put the screen. I just had this. I had the song list over here. Um, but yeah. Okay. Oh, you're back. Oh, okay. I thought the ads just started. That's interesting. I was saying, oh, I'm too honest. So I was reading your comment. It says I'm too honest in interviews, and then I was saying, I would much rather be honest in interviews, and then if it wasn't good enough or whatever, they're basically missing out on the nom experience that is me. So, but yeah, I would much rather be honest and like I'm in your boat probably. The good thing about being a magician is that you learn how to just not be too honest about those things, and you're just open and honest about other stuff. That's true. Like I'm not, but I will just misdirect. Like misdirection is a very good something that I've thought about in the past is like how the evolution of a conversation progresses throughout like a discussion, like organically, right? And then I've played these games. It's like, can I get to this topic of conversation, even though we're not talking about anything remotely related to it, and have it seem organic, whether it was really organic or not? And oftentimes I find that you can control the path of a conversation um, to end up leading to something or tangentially related to a thing, and then you can then mention your thing. Um, but it is a skill because you do kind of have to know a little bit about the people that you're talking to or understand like the conversational archetype that these people are, right? So Kit Kat Gad says, when they asked about my weakness, I said I get bored eventually and then look for more things to learn and do. I need to learn that. Oh yeah. So yeah, like anything else, right? It's a skill. A lot of people think that people who are just naturally good at talking to people, some people are, but for most people, you can train it. Like you can learn how to talk better. Don't use me as an example because I just said talk better. But um, yeah, so like I never used to be good at talking with people. I was one of those shy, quiet kids in middle school and high school up until I got a job at Blockbuster Video where there was this role that nobody wanted to do. It was called the entertainment specialist, and it was the role where on Friday and Saturday nights you would be put out onto the floor and talk to patrons about movies. And nobody wanted to do it except for me because I'm like, oh, that seems easier than managing. Like, it would definitely, you would get bored just doing cashier stuff after a while. It would just be like continuous, like repeat and drone. But like walking on the floor, I was like, like I get to know people. I get to talk with people about movies. And that's maybe how I got the love of talking about movies because I just associated with like talking with cool patrons and stuff. But if it wasn't for that role and that job, I probably would not have spoken any better between high school and college. So that improved my speaking because I ended up, doing that. During that time, I also started recording some of my first YouTube videos, and I realized that the questions they asked were really good. Oh yeah, I've gotten a couple of places where like the questions they ask, I'm like, wow, this is a really productive question, right? This is really good. Um, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so around that time I was also starting to record my first YouTube videos and learning how to edit for the first time, and I realized that I said and like a lot. I think I probably still say a lot. It's not overwhelming. I don't think really people would get annoyed with how much I say on the stream. But I largely attribute me not saying as much, and I definitely don't use like as much as I used to use it because of when I edit my own videos and I'm like, that didn't sound good because I would say like four times in like two sentences. I would edit that out and I'm like, I'm getting sick of editing myself saying like all the time. And the easiest way to just stop doing it was literally not to use the word like in that manner anymore. And so over time, like after a couple years, I basically found that I don't edit that anymore. Now, when I'm editing my videos, or that I do edit, like I'm doing a tutorial for a magic thing, I'll cut out awkward silences. So sometimes I'll pause. I'll sometimes use the word so, and it's basically a filler word, um, like like that, right? But yeah, you learn how to do that really quick if there's some tangible empirical thing that forces you to waste your time, and now it's like a menial thing, and it's just easier not to do it. Like, I use so too. So is such a fillable word. Is such a word that can be filled. I don't know. Man, none of these are making sense. Yeah. So let's see. Some of my weaknesses. You know what? I'm not going to share them on stream. I'm going to make the recruiters and I'm going to make I'm going to make recruiters and HR people give me an interview, and then I'll tell you my weaknesses. It's not that I don't know them. It's not that I want you guys to work. Not you guys like my regular chat, but the people who would hire me. If By the way, if you're a recruiter or HR person watching this because you're doing research on me, give me an interview. I have no idea if anybody like that would ever watch this, so we'll find out. Kit Kat Gad says, at least they didn't ask about where I see myself in 5 years. Let's see. I see myself as the father of a 9-year-old kid. I see myself still doing magic probably. Because since I'm into stats, I know that the real answer is not here. Oh yeah, dude, that would be brutal because yeah. So I would say that I'm surprisingly loyal to a company because I haven't been at the same company my entire life, but like since I've been out of college, I've been at 3 companies, and that was like over 15 years ago. So I basically split 15 years across 3 companies. I would say that's fair. The average lifetime of a job is just under 4 years. Yeah, In tech, right? Yeah. Actually, I know some people in tech where like every 2 to 3 years they'll jump ship and go somewhere else. Um, so I got 18 years in 2. Oh yeah, that's much higher concentration than in my situation. So yep, I can understand you there, Kit Kat. All right, I know that we are doing a lot of talking, but if anybody wants to see any magic and you would like to, feel free to request any tricks. Trick list is currently pinned in the chat, and so feel free. Otherwise, we're just going to keep on yapping because I do that now. Gibson Lens says 21 years at 1. Bravo for loyal. Gibson Lens. I'm laughing because 21 years at 1, and during a promo video, somebody calls you out for just walking around. and and not only that. All right, so for anybody who didn't know, Gibson Lens is a software developer at Double Fine Games. Um, and there was recently a promo video that Gibson Lens shared in the Discord, and I watched it. It was basically because they have a new game called Keeper coming up. And so by the way, if anybody likes Double Fine or games, this looks to be cool. It looks to be like a puzzle game where I don't know if you're controlling both the tower and the bird or just the tower, but in either case, on an island, and you're solving puzzles to achieve some goal. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm sure that might be a spoiler, but in either case, so I watched this video because Gibson Lens shared it, and then during the video, we see Bert, aka Gibson Lens, walking around. And it happened to be at a point during the interview where they were asking, "Oh yeah, everybody is working really hard, except for that guy. He's just walking around." And he says, "Bert, get back to work," or no, "Get back to work, Bert," or something like that. And I was just like, "Dude," and I just started dying. Like it's so funny. because because now like I mean I knew that that Gibson Lens worked there for a while, but now that we're talking about it, Gibson Lens 21 years at 1. I mean, if nothing else, doing good work. I think it would be hard to justify that you were not doing a good job at a job where you were at for 21 years. So Uh, yeah. So Gibson Lens, thank you kindly for all of your years of dedicated work at Double Fine and bringing us good games. I know that might be a little bit hypocritical of me because I don't know how many Double Fine games I've played. I've probably been exposed to two and a half, and then I would basically say I played one, which was The Cave because I played that on stream and very recently. But yeah, so life in software, very interesting right now. So I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. So if I can do magic gigs and make a good living, or at least a semi decent living, where I'm not like a starving artist, then at least I'll have that in my back pocket. If AI and offshoring take over U.S. software market. All right. So let's see. I know that I have not shown off all of these coins that I have in this bin. So let's go ahead and pull out some more coin things. These are not tricks. These are just things. So I am waiting. Oh, wait. I remember a trick that somebody showed me when I was at a magic convention. I'm not sure if I can recreate it. I don't know if I'm good enough to do it, but let me see. Ooh, new trick. KitKatGad says, I'm looking for operational efficiency / workflow coordination roles now. Ah, good luck. Good luck, KitKatGad. All right, so, all right. I am going to be, let me see here. So I don't normally do gambling demonstrations, and so this is kind of like a gambling demonstration video, or not video, but a trick, I would say. Okay, let's pretend that you're playing blackjack, and of course you have two cards in blackjack, and you're dealt the hand of 3 and 5. This is not a very good blackjack hand, so let's pretend that you want to do something interesting so that you no longer have a bad hand. And you know what? In this case, you can then bet big, because now if I show you what has happened here to your two cards, they have become a blackjack. Now, with a blackjack, uh, I don't know if you know what can happen with a blackjack in this case, but I don't know if you know, but you can basically print money with a blackjack. I probably should have practiced this trick. So here, let me just show you what can happen with a blackjack. And so you can print some coins with the blackjack. But actually, not only that, I don't know if you know, but you could print uh, a lot more money with with uh, with these cards, because if I show you, here's a bunch more coins, just like that, and then not only that, you can continue to make them grow more money, because I don't know if you could tell, you can get lots of riches with blackjack. All right, how's that? Was that okay? That was okay. That's very unrefined. Whoa, but look at this. You're rich. You're rich. Like me playing Splendor. I assume that means Splendor. Which, by the way, I have a Splendor board game tutorial on my YouTube channel. So, and if you were not talking about Splendor, I'm sorry, I misread the board game name. I love that game. Yeah. Kit Kat Cat, I don't know if you've seen my tutorial. Not that you need to know how to play Splendor, but at the end of my Splendor video, I I actually have a spreadsheet that I put together where if you own the original base game of Splendor, here are the colors you should go for based on your strategy, because I do a breakdown of like the distribution of colors and the cards that they have, and the likelihood of like if you are going for like the best high points of this particular thing, then you should go for these colors or whatever. I actually put a lot of thought and into that and the spreadsheet. So, which, hold on, let me drop it here. If anybody ends up wanting to watch a YouTube tutorial on Splendor and then you want to see a spreadsheet at the end of the video, let me see here. Splendor. Copy link address. Here we go. Here's my Splendor tutorial video with a spreadsheet. Oh, I should probably double check and just make sure. I haven't checked it in a little bit, but let me drop it in my board games. Okay. Let's see if the spreadsheet is still up. Oh yeah, okay, good. I link the spreadsheet here in the video. Yes, it's still here. Okay. And then copy link. Anybody with this? There's my Google Sheet spreadsheet. I have both nobles and cards split out by color, so you guys can check that out if anybody cares. I love probability, but mainly I look at the royals and then I see a river of color, Neurospicy to win. So so the spreadsheet, I have average points per card for all, average points per card for like a level 1 card, a level 2 card, and a level 3 card. So the average points per card that's a level 3 card is 4 points, but for 2 cards, 1.8. But for 1 card, it's 0.125 because most of them don't provide points. But the average cost per card is different, and so you can kind of weigh that. Anyway, I know we just got super nerdy and geeky about spreadsheets. Okay, let's get back to. Oh, okay, all right. No, went back. Uh, I'll show some coins. All right. So let's see. This is just a thing of coins that are single individual coins. This one I found in one of the little free libraries, and it was really dirty, but I cleaned it up, put some. As you can tell, there's still some. We'll be back after pizza ads. Back. So this says it's a like a baseball softball coin used at something called www.jjamusements. I don't even know if this is from around here because this says Salem, Oregon, which is literally on the other side of the country from me. So I don't know why this was in a little free library here, but I was like, okay. This is a Canadian toonie, so that's a normal coin. This is a Liberty Bell coin that I think is a like a local to me because I'm Rochester, New York, because the back says Rochester. So this is from a local casino here called Turning Stone, hence the name. This is actually a metal coin that looks like a plastic coin. So at first when I picked it up, it looked and felt like a plastic coin. It's super light, but it's actually made out of metal, but it's like very light. It's probably like aluminum. And then this one is a gigantic coin. This one's a gaming token, so it looks like it's maybe a casino, but let's see, $5 gaming token for player use only, acceptable only at Frontier, Las Vegas, Nevada. So I don't know how I came across this one, but nice collection. Yeah, so here we go. There, yeah, it's gone. All right. But you don't see any coin here, right? However, I can, a coin appears there. There we go. Yeah, I would hardly call this my collection. I do have a more formalized collection upstairs, but and also this is just one cup in this big thing. So, and then I've got two of these, acceptable only at Dunes Oasis in Las Vegas. I believe I acquired these off of a previous Magic collection. So when I started going to my local Magic Club meetings, one of the magicians had died like recently before I started showing up. And the day that I showed up happened to be the day where the club was disseminating all of his stuff to all of the members. And they were like, "Oh, you here for the first time? Oh, and you're here. Wait, did you want his stuff?" And I'm like, "I had no idea. I was just coming because I wanted to come to a meeting." And they're like, "Oh, well, you're going to get a lot of free magic today." So I got a lot of free stuff. Let's see. Kit Kat Gad says, "I got a box full of leftover travel money." Ooh, travel money. Awesome. I'm covered in Mexico for the first couple of days, and that happens in wood carving too. Ah, yes. I think a lot of places where like physical things. So let's see. In this, I have these are. Let me see here. These are $half, and these are also $half, but they have different backs. So this is your standard Eisenhower, or sorry, Kennedy. Why did I say Eisenhower? Kennedy $half. But the back, this is the standard back that I think people are probably used to. So I've got a bunch of these here. And then over here, this is also the Kennedy $half, but these have um, what is this? Independence Hall on the back of it. So, but yes. But look, if I just go ahead and I just make it disappear, boom, it's gone. However, currently nothing under the cup. But if I want to make it appear under the cup, super easy. Right there. Super easy being extremely difficult because I'm not practiced in coin magic. And then, of course, you guys saw the gigantic coin earlier. I'm not sure what this is. I know this is it's supposed to be based off of a $1. Is this a Morgan $1? I think, but made out of silver, so it was worth way more. Um, and then I've got Sacagawea dollars here. There's actually this trick. I'm not sure if I can recreate it. So let me see here. So this is what I had done with the trick before. So I want to see if I can do this again. The only time I did this was I recorded one at home just for my Facebook. This was even before I was making YouTube videos. But I basically would cover each coin with a card, and then we would try and transfer a coin magically from each. So in this case, I would try and take this coin and make it appear over here, simply just by doing this. And so here, I could then flip and show, and then I can flip and show here, and those two are there. And now for this final one, I could then do a very similar thing. Actually, before I remove it. There, thank you kindly for the transporter, Feldenkane. Hold on, I've got to show you that it's still there. I'll wait for the emote thing to clear, but I'll show you that that's still there. Okay, and now let's pretend that the transporter has occurred now, and just sprinkle it on. And now if I show you, look, it's actually gone, and here, and then now I can grab this and show you that it has appeared. And so, does a coin have to be a certain size or balance to be good for tricks? Good question. We can delve into that in a second. Let me clean this up. And the short answer is yes. Kit Kat Gad says nice, and Felden Kane, thank you kindly for the claps. So we have a couple of types of things. So first thing, all right, I'm gonna let you guys in a little bit on the a little bit about sleight of hand using cards, or not cards, coins. So first things first, there are coins of all sorts of sizes. Let me just open up. Let me see here. Let me just open up this one. So here we have $half size. Now a lot of reasons why you'll see magicians use $half and dollar coins is because they are physically larger than other coins. A lot of the times you could probably do tricks with smaller coins, but you have to either be way more precise with your control. So like for example, if I am doing something with this coin, it's pretty big, it's pretty hefty. I can kind of feel it at different parts of my hand, and it has like a wide, so I could hold it at like fingertips and things. I can place it on my palm and I know exactly where it is. If I was to have a smaller coin, here, like this is a US penny. I could probably still feel it, but my margin of error is a lot smaller for some things. So for example, if it's really at the edge of the back of my wrist here, then like it could easily slide off a lot more easily than if I had this, right? So I could shake this around, I could still do it. But if I was to have the penny here, shake this around, it could fall into the palm or off the back of the palm. Same thing with the fingertips. So like I have more control over a larger coin just because there's more leverage at different points of the coin, right? So that's the first thing about size. The next thing is that you will oftentimes be hiding coins in your hand somehow for whatever reason. And depending on how you hide it, right, will determine whether it is easy enough to hide or to do anything else with. And you could just make something disappear like this in this case. But with a smaller coin, maybe at certain angles you could just hide it. So for example, right now, but if I was to go ahead and do something like, I don't know, like like this. No, you guys can see that. See, this is why I don't do coin magic, because then we're doing stuff like this. And at some point you're just going to realize that some coins you have less control, and when it slips through your fingers and you just lose it, so then that's what happens to this. But and then there's the other snafu where if you have a wedding ring, for example, I wear my wedding ring, you can almost hear it tapping some metal because there's some coins in there. And so that's also the fact that I have a metal ring will make it more difficult for me to do coin magic if I need it to be silent, if I accidentally hit like the coin on the hand. Very cool. I didn't hear a click. I will assure you that in real life, you would have heard a click here. But depending on the move, depending on how much I contact, right? So yeah, the other thing is that when you start doing coin magic, if you decide to do coin magic, is that you're going to learn about muscles in your palm that you've never used before, and depending on how much you want to use those muscles, will determine how great your your coin magic could be. So, um, so yeah, that's a glimpse into like the types of things that you would think about for the coin magic. I do have one Pokemon coin here that used to be from a game. I never played the game. I somehow acquired this coin. It's a Gyarados, if anybody likes Pokemon. So rock climbers have the advantage in coin magic. Yo, Kikagad, you are not wrong because, so weird story. My best friend and I got into magic at about the same time. He also got into rock climbing. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. He was into magic and rock climbing. I then meet magicians locally here at the Magic Club, and I find out that a bunch of them are not only magicians, some of them love coin magic, a bunch of them are rock climbers. Like, and I'm like, what? What's the correlation? And you know what? We never thought of it this way, but Kit Kat Gad, you're right. Like, so yeah, there are some muscles in your hand that you just don't exercise most of the time, unless you do coin magic or possibly rock climbing. But yeah, maybe not all the muscles, but certainly some of the muscles for sure. There's got to be some overlap. There's so many muscles. Statistically, there must be some overlap. So I have some pouches of a bunch of other coins in here. I don't really know why I separated them. So these are coins for a local arcade here, but it's also a local arcade restaurant. So if anybody's ever in the greater Rochester area, there's a place called Swillburger, but they have arcade machines, like retro arcade machines. So like beat 'em ups, like Simpsons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some other ones, X-Men. I haven't been there in a while, so they might have changed games, but these are like Canadian quarters. So all right, I see we have a request for a trick. So let me get ready for that. We'll do that, and then we'll go from there. Now this trick and I have had some history. Okay, let me. Charlie's Beat says showing off all the loot. I mean, oh yeah, thanks for the coin review. Oh yeah, you're welcome. I mean, look, if people don't request tricks, I can show more coins. So, although we're almost kind of done with the what I have here. Um, maybe one day I can bring my coin collection down from upstairs and then I can show off more coins. But at that point, they're just lots more real coins and like foreign coins. So I don't know how interesting it would be. I did think pirate for a second. Ooh, oh, okay. This isn't loot. This is booty. Oh, did you guys know that I just learned this earlier this week? But the typical pirate accent that we associate with the pirate accent, that was not from the 1700s. That was from like the 1950s because I forgot which movie, but it was like a pirate movie. It might have been like Treasure Island or something, but they hired somebody to play Long John Silver, and it was just this actor's accent that he just played the role so over the top that it just became the pirate accent from then on out. And so, yeah, I was like, whoa, I didn't realize it was that late, but so not their accent. Yeah, it's not their accent. I mean, I can imagine if the pirates were like British in the 1700s, they would just have, British accents, which would make sense thematically, right? All right. So we have four cards here. They're the four aces. Let me introduce you to them. We have the ace of hearts, the ace of clubs, the ace of diamonds, and the ace of spades. Let me go ahead and I'm going to place the ace of spades down here because not only has Charlie's Beat signed the ace of spades, but this is also part of the trick. And so, let me see here. I'm just trying to remember what I do next here because this is the part of the trick that I sometimes forget, and I would rather. So look, I have the aces over here, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay all the aces down like this. Let's see. This is also a hard part to remember. Oh, okay. So here's what I have to do now. I'm going to go ahead and try and collect all of the aces to the same place by the end of the trick. And so let me just go ahead and place some random card. In this case, it's a jack down here. And then I'm just going to place three other cards up here. And we will go ahead and shuffle these up. And I don't know if you can tell, but look over here. I've swapped the ace from this pile with the jack in this pile because, well, if we take a look, there's no ace anymore. That jack is over here, and that ace has hopped down here. Once again, not an ace, but if I place it down here, and we plop down 3 other cards over here, I've just swapped the ace from this pile with the 3 in this pile, because if we take a look, the 3 is now over here, and the ace has now jumped down here. So, now, Kit Kat Cat says, it's funny that Old English is so far removed from modern. I listened to a Shakespearean play in Old English and I couldn't understand a thing. We're taking a quick ad break. See you in 1 minute 30 seconds. Okay, I'm going to hold. All right. Let me know when back. The other good thing about having ads randomly is that during a gig, I could be interrupted at any time for any reason. And this will be good practice for me remembering exactly where we are in the trick. I'm still here, says Kit Kat Gad. Awesome. Importantly, is Charlie. Oh, yeah, wait. Charlie subbed, right? So Charlie would certainly see this. Okay. All right. Nobody else is saying anything, so I guess that's good enough. Some people believe that that the aces were not out there, but here, let me just show you. The ace of diamonds is indeed over there, and here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we leave the ace of diamonds over here, and we'll place these 3 other aces down here. And then we're going to go ahead and place 3 other cards underneath. If you were here, you could place your hand on top of the ace of diamonds. We would slide this underneath your hand. And then we're just going to go ahead and grab some wild card. In this case, it's a joker, and place it here. And we're going to go ahead and make all of the aces appear together. Why is it called Hitchcock Aces? Says Kit Kat Gad. All right, well, why is Christmas Tree Shop called Christmas Tree Shop? They don't sell Christmas trees. Anyway, yeah, whoever makes the trick, they get to name it whatever. But I think the reason why is that the ending right here is not the usual expected ending, because all the aces have gathered together, but not here. They have gathered underneath your hand. Because if we take a look, we knew that the ace of diamonds is here, but look, here's the ace of spades, ace of clubs, and ace of hearts. But we expect this to be 4 random cards. However, this is not 4 random cards. This is actually the 4 queens. And my guess is the reason why it's called Hitchcock Aces is that there's this twist in the normal. So there's a type of card trick, and the plot is called an ace assembly. And so this is just in that family of tricks. But the Hitchcock twist at the end here is that I'm not collecting them down here. They would be under your hand. They appear over there. And then you saw something that was not a queen, but now they're all queens. So I was thinking the director Hitchcock. Oops. I mean, yeah, I believe that would probably be why it's called Hitchcock. Because at the end of his films, there was always, for the time, there was always a crazy twist at the end of his movies. The thing is, it's like his movies were so popular and influential that they affected other movies, and now we kind of think of like plot twists as like almost a standard thing to draw in audiences and keep them in. But like he was doing them way back in the day, a long time ago, in Alfred Hitchcock movies, right? So that is my guess as to where it came from. But if it's not, then that's okay. I don't know. I don't know the real answer. The way that you find out is you need to go contact Darwin. Oh, wait, no, you can't. Darwin's not alive anymore. But maybe if we can find something about Darwin Ortiz talking about creation of Hitchcock Aces. Actually, you know who might know? Jason Ladany. Jason Ladany learned under Darwin Ortiz and worked with him. So thank you kindly for the claps. Kit Kat Gad, Charlie's Beats. And I'll say that was a successful performance of that trick. Um, and hold on, I do have to double check what my boss tricks are. I haven't checked today. Okay, nope, I haven't done any of those. Oh, and you know what? The one that I messed up, we're going to keep on. Keep on keeping on. Thank you kindly for the claps. Felden Kane. So I was wondering if I should do something special for September. Probably a little late to do it for right now, but maybe for other streams. Is that I have a lot of magic product. If I get people to like gift sub or like donate bits or something, I could open a Magic the Gathering pack on stream and then do magic with it. I was thinking that could be a cool thing. That could be a cool thing. The other thing is that I could create a brand new YouTube channel where all I do is just open packs because I've heard that that could be just randomly successful, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to feed the algorithm in that way, but you know, if it comes to it, I'll do it. You know, that sounded very wrong. I'm sorry. All right. So anyway, here's a bunch of bags of more coins. I don't know if we need to go. Let me see here. What are these ones? Oh, this would be helpful if I. All right. So this one doesn't have that many coins in it. I have 2 Susan B. Anthony dollars here, and then I have a. This is a Canadian quarter, but it doesn't have the deer on the back. It has fireworks. So this one's separate because that unique back. I had never seen that before until this one. I didn't realize, but Canada's Canada's like currency, they do a lot more things as far as like making collectible versions of things than I thought. Certainly not more than the United States because like look at the U.S. quarters for each state or whatever. Oh, we already went through. Oh yeah, we already went through this pouch. And then do we look at the purple one yet? And then we'll be done with this bag. Oh, and this is just standard U.S. quarters. Oh yeah, so full disclosure, when I'm doing tricks with standard US quarters, I try and find quarters that look uniform. So we have this and in this case, all of these have the eagle back. The one before they started doing state quarters. So, because if you just go and get like, which by the way, if you like collecting coins, you could just go to the bank and ask for like an exchange of $10 for $10 in quarters, and it's like opening a booster pack of coins. Except that you literally lost no value because you got the exact same amount of money. So, so if that is appealing to you, certainly you could try that. And then I have this bigger pouch, which I forgot what I filled up with. So we're gonna figure that out right now. Oh, quarters and half dollars. All right, all standard as well. Boom. But yeah, it's funny because people who used to do close-up magic in the wild, they did cards and coins because cards was easy to carry around and still relatively cheap even back then. Um, but conceivably, people might carry a deck of cards because you know you didn't have like mobile phones or anything to play like card games and stuff. And coins because everybody used coins for money. But now nobody uses coins for money. So actually, doing coin magic is harder organically because it's like, oh, he's doing coin magic. Wait, somebody's got coins? Why do they have coins? Like, and immediately the coins are suspicious now. What's my favorite coin to do magic with? Honestly, probably just the Kennedy half dollar, just because I have a bunch and that size is good, the weight's good, and all the things that I do, it's perfectly fine to do that with. But I mean, I don't know. I don't have any particular like attachment to any specific coins or coin sizes or anything. I'm more of like if I'm gonna do coin magic, it's the practical use of the coin that I get out of it. So I'd say good question, and I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm sticking with. You know what? Let me see. Why is Hitchcock Aces called Hitchcock Aces? That's no, that's helpful and insightful. Yeah, there. I know some people are really so. Actually, if you want, I can answer as though I was some other magician. So I know that a couple magicians really like specifically Morgan silver dollars. And the thing is, they may be called Morgan silver dollars, but they are worth way more than $1 now because they were out of print for a long time ago. They were only like, I think they were only minted for some number of years. Um, and if you get a new one, it's like $40 or something. I don't even know. Well, and it wouldn't be a Morgan dollar. It'd be like a new whatever the silver dollar is now, or whatever. Um, but they like to use it because besides size and weight, but it's also like a status symbol of like if you recognize it or if you know its value. Like even just having regular versions of Morgan silver dollars is like awesome. Um, then uh, there are some people who like to use specific coins because they have invested in um, fake coins, which look, I'm not going to delude and say that, oh, hey, fake coins don't exist. I think everybody knows that fake coins can and do exist. I won't explain all of the different types, but whatever coins that you have that match your fake coins that you want to use, that could be a motivator for using those specific coins. And there are people who will manufacture or create fake coins for you, or they already have some that are in a bunch of standard coin sizes and things like that. Um, so for example, like regular quarters and $half, you could totally find them in those forms. But because Morgan silver dollars, British pennies or pence, and Chinese coins are very popular in a bunch of tricks. You'll oftentimes find those more often as far as like fake versions of those coins. Um, so those tend to probably be more favored amongst general magicians because then they can have the real ones and the fake ones and use them interchangeably. I mean, not fully use them interchangeable, but like use them for whatever tricks that they need to use them for. Um, the unique thing about the Chinese coin, if you're familiar with Chinese coins or Japanese coins, the ones that are used happen to have the hole in the center of that particular Asian coin, and so you can do something that's a little bit different compared to like Western coins. A lot of Western coins don't have a hole in the center, and already we have two Asian countries that have currency that by default have a coin hole in the center of the coin. So um, the whole fake coins thing are so odd, but not as odd as fake eggs in China. So probably this is going to be a little bit revealing, but in Magic, there's a lot of fake eggs too. So not only are fake eggs used because maybe you don't want to crack real eggs, but sometimes you just need the durability of an egg not breaking. There's also another thing. You'll often find fake fruit. Fake fruit are for art installations exhibits, furniture stores, or like people who are staging houses, and magicians. Because, well, let's say you're doing a trick and you want to make like a piece of fruit appear at the end. Well, if you use a real fruit every single time, it could get dirty, it could spew real juice. You might have to replace it multiple times a day. You might not actually want to carry a real lemon. If you just had a fake like durable lemon. You just buy one and then it lasts you for every performance at that point. So yeah, if you didn't know, there is a market for fake fruit. um, Kit Kat Cat says, I like fake sushi. Beth kind of sort of. Welcome in, Beth. How's it going? My immersion. I mean, look, you can be immersed in a very good staging of a house, but then if you look very closely at the fruit, it's fake fruit, right? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for busting this illusion. Um, You know, there's another trick that I pulled out recently, but it doesn't really work even for online. However, I can show it to you and I can describe it to you. And whether you believe me or not, it doesn't matter. But if you ever encounter me in real life and I have this on me, we should I should show it to you. Okay, so and this is a magic product. I purchased it. I won't give away the name mostly because just in case you end up looking it up or whatever. So I won't give that away. But let me pull this out, and we will perform this trick as though, because you know what? If I'm going to do this for real people as well. So a lot of tricks are visual. Some tricks are audio. This one is tactile. You could actually close your eyes. I would walk you through this, and we could do this. So here in front of, oh, you know what? We should probably trick request this. This is a magician's choice. Okay, so here we have 3 blocks of wood, and this trick is intended to be done for one person at a time. And that person, I would have them sit right in front of me, and I would then tell them, all right, close your eyes, relax. I want you to clear your mind. Let's count back from 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I would tell them to open their eyes, and now I would have them take their hand, and they will see 3 blocks of wood in front of them. And the first thing I want them to do is grab hold of the bottom block with everything on top of it and pick it up slowly but surely and firmly. And remember the weight of all 3 blocks of wood. Place it down, and now close your eyes and relax and count back from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I want you to open your eyes and get ready to pick up the top 2 blocks and just pick them up slowly. And I want you to remember and feel how much they weigh, and you'll oddly notice that the weight weighs more than all 3 together. And so they'll pick it up, and they will feel the heavy weight of the 2 blocks being heavier than all 3 together. And then once again, I'd have them place it back, close their eyes, relax, count back from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I would ask them to just pick up the top block with their hands and just lift it up slowly. And remember that weight. And somehow it feels like the single block weighs more than all 3 blocks combined. And remember that weight, and they put it back. And then snap. And now at this point, they have experienced a tactile magic trick. Because if you were here and you were able to pick up 3 blocks, then 2 blocks, and then 1 block, you would feel something different than would be expected. So, and I know this doesn't translate well, but let me one day, if I come up with a way that I can show this to people in real life, we'll try and see if we can get real reactions. And so that's the plan. But anyway, if that was super cool, let me know. If that was super weird or oh that's useless to show on stream, let me know too. But yeah, so this is a cool magic trick that I purchased at a convention. So is it hypnotism? The short answer is this is not purely hypnotism. No, you can use some techniques similar to hypnotism, but it is not completely hypnotism. Of course, the entire trick is precedented upon the basis that you might be hypnotizing them, but no, that's not actually the case here. There is something happening to have you experience this weight difference. So, anyway, super cool. Super cool. All right. Cool. So, Kit Kat Gad says, I thought I couldn't be hypnotized, and the answer is yes, yes, I can. So, yeah, Kit Kat Gad, I don't know how much you know about hypnotism. I'm into psychology, and especially more now, and I've seen hypnotism at work in real life, watching it live. Um, and yeah, I would say anybody can be hypnotized. Arguably, the more intelligent you are, the easier it is. Um, the only thing is you have to be willing to be hypnotized, even just partially, or at least be slightly open to the fact that And the thing is, hypnotism doesn't. They can't make you do something that goes completely against your personality or your wishes or anything like that. There's got to be some potential justification in you where it's like, oh yeah, I'll do this because for the lulls, or I'll do this because oh that sounds like a great relaxing idea, or I'll do this for whatever. But um, the people that they choose for comedy shows, they really just most of the time they're good results because they do like a mass hypnotism to find like the people who would probably be the funniest, right? They may not choose you not because you wouldn't be able to be hypnotized. It's because you're not going to be funny, right? Like, so Kit Kat Gad says, I had a moment of fear of what if the hypnotist dies and I can never open my eyes again. Um, yeah, I would say that's probably unrealistic in the long term. I don't know what would happen in the short term, like for 10 or 15 minutes or whatever, but you can be broken out of that. And honestly, that particular person who helped you get to that state doesn't have to get you out. Somebody else can also get you out. They have to be a little experienced probably, but um, yeah. So Kit Kat is mentioning the fear of having a hypnotist die during it. And that's exactly what happens in Office Space. So if anybody's ever seen that movie, I would recommend, because I actually showed it to Gibson Lens earlier this year. He and I watched a movie over Discord because it was on his list to watch, and I was like, I own it, and there was nowhere to stream it. So I'm like, yo, we should watch this movie. It was actually shortly after the unemployment of me became uh, true. So I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, hypnotism is a thing, but it's not as crazy and scary as people think it is. All right. Man, I actually haven't done as many tricks as I thought that I would do tonight, but you know what? That doesn't matter. Just as long as we all had fun and we had a good time. And you know what? I had a lot of fun just chatting tonight. I mean, I have my trick list open. If you want to see magic, you just request. um, so that's okay. I forgot about that scene. Oh yeah, Kit Kat Gad at the beginning of the movie. That's like how he gets into the happy space, and then we just assume that. I think it's supposed to lead the viewer to believe that this is why he's doing everything that he's doing for the rest of the movie. But I mean, deep down, right? Like something like that, I don't think would permanently affect you. There are some people who will put hypnotic suggestions into your subconscious, and then you won't be aware of it, but your subconscious will have it, and then for years. I've heard some fun stories, fun because I assume that nobody would use this maliciously, even though it could potentially happen. I would be remiss in saying that it couldn't 100% completely happen, but here's the thing. If you are not aware of whether you would be willing to do something or not, could potentially be used against you in the hypnotic space, I guess. Which is different than like, making you do something that you're actively like, nah, I don't want to do it, right? But there are some people who've been at like at shows, at comedy hypnotism comedy shows, and then like years later they might go see like the same show with the same hypnotist, and the hypnotic suggestion will come back during the course of that show years later, and it's like, oh hey, and then they could just question them. Oh, have you seen my show before? Yes, and I saw this happen once, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious. So, all right, okay. So let's do last call. If there's anybody who would like to see any more magic, now is a good time to request. And you know what? We're in September. I was actually thinking about doing some more magic streams this week. So if anybody wants to keep an eye on whether I do more magic streams this week, if you want to join the Discord, I announce all of my streams, whether it's magic or cooking or playing U-Beat or anything else. So feel free to come hang out. But yeah, I'll do the outro right now, and then if there's any requests after that, we'll do that, and then we'll do the finale trick, which I still have to decide what we're gonna do. But yeah. So for anybody who came out tonight, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me tonight. And sorry we probably didn't get as much magic as you had expected, but we got a lot of talking in, and I did talk a lot about magic, and I did a bunch of random miscellaneous things with magic that I would never normally do. Like we showed off all the coins. I showed you that tactile magic trick, which I may have only shown to stream once ever before. So that might have been the second time I even mentioned it. You have an Office Space themed magic trick? You know, I currently do not, but yeah, hold on. Let me you know what? We're going to put a custom trick in. Office Space themed trick. Okay, let's see if I can come up with one after this. You know what? Now that it's on my mind, I can't get it on my mind. So you know what? We're going to focus on doing this now. And then, okay, so let me see. How can I do the Office Space thing? How can I do the Office Space thing? Actually, wait. You know what? We're talking about the hypnotism scene. Um, we're talking about the hypnotism scene in there. Let me see if. Let me see what I can do here. Oh, if only I remember how to do this one. This one could have been good if I remember how to do it. I did not remember how to do it though. You know, deep down inside, I think the best way to illustrate this could be. All right. I have one. I have an idea. I have an idea for one. It's not like a full-fledged trick, but I think I have an idea for one. And it's actually surrounding the hypnotism portion of the trick, or the movie, or that scene. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Oh man. Okay. This is. Okay. I think that's a cool idea. Let me see how it goes. Okay, let me see if I. Oh, I don't know if I've encoded this trick. Okay. All right, I may have to wing it. So let's see what I can do here. Boom. All right, hang on. Let me just rehearse this myself for a second. So boom, boom, boom. Boom. Okay. So we start with that. Two, three, four. You know what? We're just gonna wing it. We're just gonna hope for the best. Okay. Okay. So, your name is Peter, and you are going into the hypnotist's office, or the hypnotherapist in his case, but hypnotist's office. And you know what? Um, he starts to question you about work and what makes you happy, or what do you think about work. And in his mind, he's just thinking that it's just a joke, right? So, and that's all the thoughts that he has in his mind. So these four cards are going to be represented by um, the jokers that are there, because that's completely what is filling Peter's mind. And so, but here's what is going to happen with these. Oh, wait, hold on. I have to show you one more, right? I have to show you four. Okay, so, but he starts to ask you whether you can start to drain your mind of these thoughts. And so, okay, well, let's take a joker, and we're going to place it off to the side. And let's grab another joker, and just going to place that off to the side. It's like another joker, place that off to the side. And then this final joker, and now he's emptied his mind of the final joker. Okay. So, however, as he starts to shift his mind, he's going to think about work. Well, why do most people go to work? Most people think about work not because they want to be a joker at their workplace, but because they actually want to make money. So whether you feel like you're lucky because you have a job, haha, that speaks a little bit closely to where I'm at right now. But in this case, somebody might think, oh, well, you just have four jokers in your hand. That's not mysterious. Well, then Peter starts to think about money. And the money he starts thinking about is going to be represented by diamonds, and hopefully he gets lucky. Seven of diamonds. Actually, every single card is going to look like a seven of diamonds. See, they all look like seven of diamonds right now. And you know what? The seven of diamonds, they're all seven of diamonds now. But if you only think that there was one seven of diamonds, if I reverse count them, you would think that the seven of diamonds is at the bottom of the packet. However, if I show you, the seven of diamonds is still at the top of his mind because it's still on the top. Um, however, if we think more deeply about what could be on Peter's mind, the hypnotist starts to say, oh, well, you should clear your mind completely of things. Completely. Not, don't think about money. Don't think about how you behave at work. And actually, right now is when Peter starts to clear his mind. And if you take a look, there's now nothing on any of these cards. And this happens to be when the hypnotherapist uh, dies just randomly. So, yeah. And that, my friends, is just an attempt at a trick themed as Office Space. Just trying my best. I don't think it's the best presentation, but I mean, I think on such short notice, I did okay. So now that Peter's mind is absolutely clear and the hypnotherapist is dead, he can now go on to do all of the things that he does in the movie. Peter's mind, love it. Yeah. I think had I not been talking about the hypno therapist, or if we hadn't been talking about hypnosis just earlier, I might have been able to choose a different scene. But basically, in my mind, I was just thinking the entire time this was the scene that I was thinking about after that whole discussion. So thank you kindly for the claps. Kit Kat Gad, Gibson Lens. Um, so Yeah, I think I could probably do something called for TPS reports, or a case of the Mondays, but um, like for the TPS reports, I could probably do something with like the letters TPS or something because I have a letter deck. I have a couple letter decks actually. Hold on, let me see what I can find. Do I have TPS? That sounds so weird if TPS is like a strange disease. Okay. All right, let me see here. Do I have this letter? You could talk. You could have talk as if you were the hypnotherapist. Oh yeah, yeah. I could do that too, perhaps. I just end the trick, right? I just when the hypnotherapist was to die or pass away, I could just like cut the stream. Like okay, so here we have T, P, and S. So we have these three letters, TPS. And you know, deep down inside, we have the entire alphabet. I'm gonna have to let me just double check something because I thought this was actually something else, but hold on. This is awesome. We're taking a quick ad break. Okay. All right. I have the ad break to figure out what the heck I'm doing with this. Hold on. Please hold. Okay. That was weird. Um, okay. I know where I did wrong, but ad break, lol. Oh, this is a good time to hydrate as well. Okay. All right. Let me know when back. Okay. Okay. All right. I think I've got one more idea for TPS reports, and then um, we can. So one annoying thing, I'm gonna confess this on stream, is that so underneath this table, there's like a little platform that I put my feet on, which I usually do. However, because I changed some stuff and I needed the outlet to be moved so I could plug in my second monitor, I now have the power cables down there. And I'm like, oh, that's gonna be less comfortable, but I'm like, but it works better for the stream setup. So I'm like, fine, I will live with power cables on my ottoman. Anyway. All right, back. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So, all right. Here we go. So, first things first. I have T, P, and S. So, TPS is a cover sheet for your TPS reports, right? TPS cover sheets. Now, what we have here is TPS. And what we want to do is we are going to basically be using TPS reports. Now, in the movie Office Space, they do make a big deal about the TPS reports at the beginning of the movie. And it's not so much that they're trying to follow a new procedure or do anything, but especially the employees, they suspect that it is a way to determine who keeps their employment and who doesn't. And you know what? Uh, if we just use Peter as a data point, well, he's not very good at the TPS reports, but he did get to keep his job. But he did get hypnotized by a hypnotherapist that died, and so anyway, for the TPS reports, they are going to decide who to X. There we go. That's my other random idea for TPS reports. Okay. Whoa, it says Kit Kat Gad. Yep. Thank you kindly for the claps, Felden Kane. All right, cool. And let's see. And with that, I think that's probably gonna be good. Hopefully, those two as quote unquote pretty short notice for the Office Space theme. But you know what? I think I did okay. I'll give myself a B. Mostly because I feel like my performances were not really refined and like working through that workflow, but also trying to recall the movie. It helped, so I could not have done this if did not watch the movie with Gibson Lens like a month and a half ago or whatever. You did great. Hey, thanks, KitKat Gad. Appreciate it. Yes, I'm gonna be a very strict on myself. So I mean, look at it this way. I don't know how many magic tricks out there are about Office Space, so I might just corner the market on like Office Space tricks. So, so many good scenes from that movie. I know. So, the other things that we could do is like a case of the Mondays, pieces of flair. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, the fax machine. Yeah, pieces. Oh, yeah, pieces of flair. That's right. Hold on, hold on. Do I have an idea for pieces of flair? Okay. Um, let me see. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna wing this. I'm just gonna wing it. Okay, so who's the guy that has lots of pieces of fire? Is that Brian? Brian, right? Okay. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34. Okay, 34 pieces of flare. All right, so let's pretend this is Brian with 34 pieces of flare. And then, crap, what's Jennifer Aniston's character's name? I forget her name in the movie. I mean, I know her as Jennifer Aniston, but that's her real name. Um, and then she has, what's the minimum? 17? Hold on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Can't remember? See? Clearly, you only remember her as Jennifer Aniston, right? Okay. Um, so let's pretend this is Brian, and let's pretend this is Jennifer Aniston's character in the movie Office Space. And as you can see, this is how many pieces of flair that they have. It appears as though Brian has almost double um, what Jennifer Aniston is wearing. However, at any given time, you might not be able to see all of the pieces of flair. Some of them might be on the front, some of them might be on the back, and then at certain weird angles, you might then be able to see that maybe they don't have that many at all. And so if we go ahead and just place them under some covers. Let me see. Can I? My hands are just slightly too small for my idea. Joanna, that's it. Joanna. Yes, this is Joanna, not Jennifer Aniston. Which, to be fair, Joanna sounds a little bit like All right, okay. But let's pretend that we try and count. Let's try and count just the ones on the front of Jennifer Aniston. Um, and so let's see here. So from the front, it might appear as though we can only see uh, just a few pieces of flare from either one of them. However, when we count Joanna's pieces of flare, we only count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if we count Brian's pieces of flares, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so there could be an awful lot of pieces of flair. And so Joanna is being told to go ahead and wear a little bit more flair. And so instead of 4, maybe she'll wear a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now she's wearing 8 pieces of flair. But then Brian one ups her and decides to wear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, he's still wearing 12. All right. He needs to wear a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 pieces of flair. And so now Joanna is starting to get fed up, and she says, if you want me to wear 17 pieces of flair like Brian, these numbers are a little bit different because they're way, way more. Joanna says, well, okay, fine. You can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of flair and shove them up yours. And of course, she then quits. And of course, there's no more pieces of flair anymore because they're all gone. And of course, Brian, he still has his how many pieces of flair? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He's wearing 14 today. And that, my friends, is just a random idea about pieces of flair. Okay. uh, maybe less of a developed trick, but more of like a demonstration. So that, yeah. Yay! Thank you kindly for the claps. E-Room, Felden Kane, Kit Kat Gad. Thank you kindly for the claps. So anyway, the sleight that you saw me use in this particular trick that I just did, it was fresh in my mind because I just created a YouTube tutorial video for it. I'm actually still in the process of finishing up editing, but it's probably going to go up later this week. But if anybody wants to learn the secrets of card magic and learning the sleight to do that, that video will be up on my YouTube if you want to become a channel member and support me over there. I know that a lot of you guys support me over here, so I mean, it's not obligatory, but honestly, if anybody is learning to do card magic and you haven't let me know, I will feel very offended. But I'd be more than willing to just share knowledge with people who want to learn. So, like, seriously learn to use it, like, to use the card magic skills. All right, so I think with that, we can call that a stream. I did do like 3 Office Space theme tricks, right? So I'm gonna get credit for all of them. Office Space themed trick. Office Space themed trick. I did those. All right, awesome. That was really fun. Awesome, Kit Kat Cat. Thank you for the stream, sir. Yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna unpin this. I'm gonna close the queue. We're gonna do an outro, and then I will still do a finale trick. And then let's see, what am I feeling? Whoa! Oh, I almost spilled water. Good thing I did not. Okay, I want to do the trick Imagine today, probably. That'll probably be a good closer for today. Trick request, Imagine. Okay. Is that in there? Okay, good. All right. Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and hanging out with me tonight. I know it's some random Sunday, and I know that it's like back to school season, so people are probably like, especially if you have kids or whatever, it might be tough because tomorrow's a Monday. But thanks for coming out and hanging out. Um, so thank you to everybody who chatted in chat, used sound alerts. I know we didn't have too many tricks for selecting cards or clicking on the heat map, but I would always thank people for doing that anyway as well. So if it wasn't for you guys, this wouldn't be as much fun for me. I know we did a lot more talking today and a little bit less magic, but hopefully you guys enjoyed nonetheless. Thank you to all the lurkers out there, because magic is one of those rare art forms where if I'm practicing magic at home, there's no magic happening. So the magic has to happen in your mind. If anybody believes that any and all of this was sorcery, black magic, or deals with the devil, it is none of those things. It was sleight of hand and presentation. Honestly, I did talk a little bit about, I revealed a little bit about coin magic too. So definitely but if you still believe it's real magic, best cover story ever. So, all right. That being said, if you want to see more of me and I'm not around, the best place to see more of me is my YouTube channel, Sorcery Says Felden Kane. Instant, says Crazy Asian. No. All right. That's a Magic the Gathering joke. If anybody else was not in the know, I know that both Gibson Lens and Felden Kane understood that, but otherwise, yeah, check out my YouTube, guys. If you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, I would really love to ask if you could subscribe to me, because I am less than 20 people away from hitting 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I think that that would be a really cool milestone to be able to share with people. So please, definitely, Felden Kane, la la la, yeah, good one, definitely. Um, So yes, please subscribe to my YouTube if you are able. I would love it. Please, thank you. If you want to see the VODs, especially if they fall off retention here, most of my VODs end up going to this other YouTube channel. I don't care if you subscribe to that one. That's not the main one. I'll share your YouTube on my Discord. Felden Kane, thank you kindly. Greatly appreciate it. You know what that means. I'll probably have to find your Discord later and I'll join it as well. But thank you. I appreciate that. Uh, any help will be helpful for me at this point, because I'm currently unemployed looking for work and trying to push all my YouTube and my Twitch and my socials and stuff. So I was actually talking with my wife, and if I could make enough money, even though it wouldn't match my old salary or whatever, she might be okay with me just doing, you know, other things to make money. So I joined yours. Awesome. Thanks, Felden Kane. Appreciate it. Speaking of which, if any, I know that I did bring it up earlier, but we'll do it one more time for anybody who wants to join the Discord. This is where I will update all the stuff. I post most of my stuff that I care about in here. So if anybody wants to chat, hang out, let me know in my Discord. Um, okay, and then also, guys, if you're not following our friends and mods, let's give some mod love to our mods. Chan the Magic Man was in here earlier, and we did a couple tricks for Chan the Magic Man. So definitely give Chan the Magic Man a follow. He does Magic Mondays, and you might be able to catch him tomorrow doing Magic. And then if you catch him other times, he might be playing retro games, might be doing community games, might also be playing Grand Theft Auto. So that's Chan the Magic Man. Also subscribe. Thank you kindly, Kick Hack Gad. Greatly appreciate it. And then also, if you're not following our friend and mod Gibson Lens, please give Gibson Lens a follow. Acclaimed pianist and composer, released an album of all of his originals, not all of his originals, just a small fraction of his originals. And definitely loves talking about movies now, because he has become an accidental movie reviewer, because we love talking about movies. Actually, so Felden Kane created the Gibson Lens thumbs up, thumbs down animated emotes, actually. So those were created by Felden Kane. So that's where we use them. That's where we use them. So Gibson Lens does the thumb dance to tell us whether he likes a movie or does not like a movie. There's the rare double thumbs up and rare double thumbs down, but anyway, yeah, definitely give him a follow. And let's see. Other than that, oh yeah, so I also don't like to wrap up on a trick that I mess up on. So if I mess up this trick, we're doing another finale trick. But if I do fine, then we'll find somebody to raid, and that's the plan. So let me open up. Hold on, let me open up another Twitch window. Hold on, let me open. You might have just heard me. Ooh, hold on. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like a ton of people on, so not for lack of choice. You know what? There is somebody that I might want to raid if they're still streaming after. Oh, okay, all right. Well, I know who we're raiding after this, so that'll make life easier. All right. Oh, we're taking a quick ad break. All right. Okay, so wait until after the ad break, and then we'll do the finale. All right. Let me know when back. Then we will do finale. Okay. All right. It looks like. Okay. It looks like people are back. Pre-roll off for. Okay. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and do. And I think I just gave Gibson Lens an extra hint if about who I'm raiding. The raid target's only been streaming for 27 minutes. Okay. All right. So, all right. First things first, I would like you to imagine that I have a packet of jokers. And so here we've got one, two, three jokers and a queen of clubs. Now, this queen of clubs, um, I just want you to imagine that this is a queen of clubs. It's maybe not a real queen of clubs. It's just queen of clubs. I just want you to imagine. But I also want you to imagine that the queen of clubs is a red backed card and that the jokers are blue backed. So I just want you to imagine that. That's all. That's all. But now I just want you to imagine that I take the queen of clubs and I place it underneath the table, and that I imagine throwing it through the table, through the mat, back into my hand. Because now if I show you, oh remember you're just imagining that the queen of clubs actually has just made it back into my hand. But I'm going to want you to imagine that I place it underneath the table and I throw it through the table, through the mat, through my hand, back into my hand. And look, it has reappeared. And I just want you to imagine that one more time, back underneath the table, through the mat, back into my hand. I don't know why I snapped it. I already threw it, but look. And it has reappeared. Now, I don't know if you guys have a very strong imagination, but I did tell you to imagine. And I told you to imagine that the red back card was a queen of clubs. You must have a really good imagination because actually there's no queen of clubs here. However, not only that, I don't know if you know, but remember I also told you to imagine the jokers. And sure, these jokers are blue backed, but that's only if they were jokers in the first place because these are also completely blank. And that, my friends, I will call a successful performance and finale. All right. All right. Kika says sorcery! And thank you kindly for the claps, E-Room Gibson Lens. And thank you for the mind-blown Kit Kat Gad. I know, is that a little bit weird? No, it's okay. It was just a hypnotic suggestion. Thank you kindly for the claps, Feldenkane. All right. Hopefully you guys had fun today. I certainly did. I was actually going into stream a little bit like, feeling a little bit, not down like emotionally, but like down maybe like physically. Like, I did tell early chat that I got an injury on the playground today. I know that might sound like it's like an analogy for something. No, it's quite literal. So, wait, what? I'm not gonna share it again. You'll have to watch it. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I hurt myself trying to climb a big slide. Yeah. I wanted to prove to my daughter that she could climb up a slide because she was getting better at climbing up small slides. And I'm like, I can climb up this big slide. And to my own hubris, I could not. So anyway, been there, says Kit Kat Gad. All right, so yeah, so there you go. Now you guys have more context. All right. Okay, I was gonna say let's find somebody to raid, but I've already done that. So, long story short, there is somebody that we have not raided for a long time because, or hold on, I'm just gonna double check the spreadsheet mostly because it's just out of good habit. But I'm pretty sure. Okay, last time we raided out to this person was back in 2023. So 2023 was when we raided this person. So yeah, we are now going to be raiding this person again. Climbing up a slide is just too tempting. I know, right? So I literally climbed two other slides that were just slightly smaller. This happened to be the biggest slide, and I was like, oh, I could do it. Have a nice day or night, says Feldon Kane. All right. Oh, yeah. So if anybody wants to follow along on the raid, here's a raid call for people who are not subbed. Here's a raid call for people who are subbed. We're going to be raiding our friend Zul'Janim. Zul'Janim is a pianist that has also come and hang out with us sometimes. But Zul'Janim, South Korean, and I don't know if anybody knew, but in the last couple of years, Twitch took away like the monetization ability of South Korean streamers, and Zul'Janim and I have um, a couple of friends who were affected. So, but anyway, I figured we can raid over. Yeah, that's messed up. Yeah, I can imagine from like the software technical business side, or like the political landscape, because right, like most connections, like internet connections that go to South Korea might have to go through like Russia, or they go through like expensive undersea cables, depending on the connection. But like, they could be like a geopolitical thing. It could just be like a sheer cost. I don't know. Like, my argument against like the whole um, the the cost is probably because we connect to Japan and there must be undersea cables between South Korea and Japan. So I don't know if that's necessarily valid. But yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. So basically, anybody who was monetized could no longer make money from Twitch in South Korea. So that's, yeah, that was a whole dramatic thing. And anyway, we're gonna go over there because Zujin, wonderful pianist and also all around fun um, streamer. And then also one of Zul'Janim's mods actually created one of my favorite emotes for my channel. This one, the crazy Asian lol. So that was I'm uni. But anyway, oh, let me copy my own raid call before I forget. But yeah, honestly, Zul'Janim's piano stream, it's just if you don't want to say much, you just want to lurk, like just listening to the piano is wonderful. So yeah, that's fine. But anyway, happy nightmares. Welcome in. Let me cancel the raid as I was about to raid out. Welcome in, Happy Nightmares. How is it going? How are you? Thank you kindly for the raid, Happy Nightmares. GG. So, welcome in. I know you room. Welcome in, Memloss. Welcome in, Happy Nightmares. Welcome, Raiders of the Lost Stream. All right. Okay, so you know what? I feel like I should do a trick for the Raiders. Certainly before we go. Happy Nightmares. How is your stream? How are you doing? Guys, if you're not following our friend Happy Nightmares. Oh, hold on. I should probably do the official. Sorry. Guys, you're not following our friend Happy Nightmares, please give Happy Nightmares a follow. Happy Nightmares does science streams. Sometimes we'll do other streams. So, yeah. Oh, but don't push yourself. I don't. Look, if I didn't want to do it, but look, I want to do it. So, here we go. First of all, I'm trying to find the card that you signed. Happy Nightmares. There we go. Okay. So, all right. Okay, so here we have our Happy Nightmares signed, Two of Hearts. Thank you so much for the raid, Happy Nightmares. Greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you had a wonderful stream. And thank you for... Yay, I want to see! All right. So, Happy Nightmares is has raided over here. And what kind of retro games? Oh, you're asking Happy Nightmares about what other retro... Oh, that's cool. Okay. I didn't realize you played retro games. Oh, and play odd retro games. Oh, okay. I missed that. I didn't realize you also play retro games. Happy Nightmares. All right, so here we have Happy Nightmares, and if we go ahead and take Happy Nightmares and place Happy Nightmares here into the middle of the deck, um, we will see Happy Nightmares raid into the stream here. But now, if we go ahead and take Happy Nightmares once again, let's say some time passes. Now, Happy Nightmares is not currently at the top of the stream, but if Happy Nightmares raids in, we will then see Happy Nightmares. Happy Nightmares plays NES, sometimes SNES, and old Mac games. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm already following you because actually I think you've shown up in my list of people to watch. Uh, okay, yes, I am. So here's the thing. I sometimes assume that I know who I'm following, but I've actually found sometimes where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally following this person, and I was not following that person. And it's not for the fact that I probably didn't. I may have actually clicked unfollow, but you know how sometimes like you find out that Twitch unfollowed you or something for somebody, and I'm just like, ah. Happy Nightmares might play Sega Genesis soon. Ooh, excellent. Merci. All right. So Happy Nightmares also plays retro games. Now, if we leave Happy Nightmares sticking out, some people think that magicians will do sneaky things. Like perhaps if I was to raid away before Happy Nightmares completed a raid over here, then maybe we wouldn't have seen a Happy Nightmares at all. And so Happy Nightmares would be buried amongst chats and various streamers that were not Happy Nightmares. However, if we know that we can call Happy Nightmares back up, we can then see Happy Nightmares. Haha, yeah, that happens to me too, Crazy Agent. You know what? I think it happens to everybody. That's that's the thing. All right, so that was my standard, one of my standard tricks for Happy Nightmare. However, this time let's go ahead and do another one. Happy Nightmares. I know that sometimes you're going through tons and tons of different scientific papers and talks, maybe choosing what to do for stream. And so you can be buried amongst a sea of scientific content. And so, what says Happy Nightmares? And now, when you're buried in the sea of scientific content, you have no idea what to then show people. And you know what? Sometimes some of those scientific ideas are very conflicting. Some of times they're very confusing. And to represent that confusion, we're going to shuffle face up into face down cards. I know that's a little bit bizarre, but you know what? Some people's organization schemes can be confusing. Some people's decisions for how they do. Some people, you know what? You can never tell what you're going to do for a stream until you finally do it, right? And so here in my mind, I sometimes have to decide. Usually for my magic streams, it's pretty solid. But you know what? When I do another stream like cooking, I don't know what to cook. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I can. So, and if we take a look at this pile, everything's going to look super messed up, right? So like here's some face up, face down cards amongst everything. And so and you'll see if you were to able to look into my mind, I've got stuff going on all the time. But so look, we've got a back to a front, we've got a front to a back, and then we even have a back to a back. And so yeah, but at the end of the day, Happy Nightmares. When you stream, when I stream, we do end up having a stream, and hopefully, we'd like to think it's pretty coherent, and it may appear well organized. But as anybody who streams knows, um, it may not be the most organized thing, but hopefully by the end of the day, we realize that everybody who's there in chat is there to give you a good time and support you and to make sure that stream goes well. That's why you've got friends and mods and VIPs. So everything looks as though it's well organized, even if it wasn't. However, at the end of the day, you know you've got a great stream. Happy Nightmares. There we go. And there we have it. That will be my new finale trick for tonight, because we've already closed the queue. We were gonna raid out, and then boom. All right. Happy nightmares. Hopefully you were okay with that. I know you didn't see more magic, but those were two customized tricks for you. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you bringing everybody over. I guess before we raid out, I should probably introduce myself. I think everybody that you raid in probably knows me, but if they don't, hi, my name is Nam, also known as Crazy Asian, spelled this weird way on Twitch, and I like to do sleight of hand magic on stream. I mostly do that on Sunday nights. I call it Sleight of Hand Sunday. I normally would have the trick list open where you could request tricks from my trick list, and I can do those tricks. We even had Kit Kat Gadgets suggest, hey, here's a theme. Can you do some tricks about Office Space? Because we were just talking about Office Space, and I was like, oh yeah, let me try that. So we did that earlier. And so, yeah, if you want to see more magic and I'm not around, please check out my YouTube channel. I'm actually like less than 20 people away from 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. So actually, if I could just please ask you to subscribe to me on YouTube, I would really love that. So thank you. Thank you kindly. Um, but other than that, thank you so much for hanging out and being here tonight, everybody. And thank you so much for the raid. Happy nightmares. And hopefully you had a wonderful stream. Hopefully you enjoyed those tricks. And we're going to be raiding out. Oh, let me. I've already found a raid target, and they were only streaming for 27 minutes before. So I'm sure they're not leaving anytime soon. So I was like, okay, it's safe. I can go longer without risking the raid target. So, all right, let's go ahead and all right, Night All needs some shut eye. Absolutely. If anybody wants to follow us on the raid, here's a raid call for people who are not subbed, and here's a raid call for people who are subbed. Let me do this again. All right, raiding if you get left behind, because we still see instances where people will get left behind. And now let me start the raid. Here we go. And let me copy my own raid call. You know what I would really love to have if we could have multiple copy buffers. Like if I could just copy and paste like multiple, that would be sweet. So yeah, you know. All right. Okay, everybody. Great seeing you all. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. And once again, thank you to our raider. Happy nightmares. And everybody, remember to take care of yourselves. Remember to hydrate. Remember to stretch. And remember to get good sleep. Multiple copy and paste, you said. You can. I can. Oh, man. You're going to have to tell me the secret, Gibson Lens. To be fair, I probably have it. I should probably just type it in and search. If there's a solution, I don't have it, so I should probably just get it. Um, but anyway, yeah. So we'll go and hang out with Zuljanim. Oh, for anybody who doesn't know, Zuljanim is a pianist, plays wonderful piano, and you can just fall asleep in there if you would like. So, all right, everybody. Good seeing you. Take care. We'll hope to see you guys around. All right. Bye.